In the floor, two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burb with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Hey, welcome back to the show, everybody. This is episode 932 of the Two Dum Yinzers. I want to say to everybody today, welcome back. Michael.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. No place I'd rather be on a Monday morning.
I wanted to talk to you because you had big plans. Was going to Chuck E. Cheese over the weekend. How did that play out, man?
That went awesome, bro. We had a great time. The kids had an amazing time. My son loved it. He got to hug Chuck E. Cheese. He got to scrunch Chuck E. Cheese's nose. He got to play games. He had a blast. He woke up at 7 o'clock that morning, stormed into his mother's room, flipped the lights on, and goes, "It's Chuck E. Cheese day. Dad needs to get home from work." He was fired up, brother.
Did you crawl around through the ball pit?
They don't have the ball pit anymore.
What?
Yeah, so they have all the games, right? But now they also have like an indoor, like a little trampoline thing, and an indoor little like had slides. You can climb up this ramp, crawl through tubes. Got those little bars that hang down with pads that you can run through like you're playing football. They did not have the ball pit.
Do you still like play all the games and get all those little tickets and win prizes and things like that?
Yeah, you got the tickets, you got the games, the prizes, but the tickets now are all on like a card.
Yeah, see, I don't like
the card to play. Yeah, I preferred the ticket, but I understand why they don't want to use the tickets. It's easier just to scan the thing. But I got into it like this. All I had to do was just tap that card, and I was good to go. I don't have to funnel around with tokens. I don't have to collect tickets. So it was okay for me.
That takes all the fun away from it. Collecting all those tickets and the kids walking around with 1,000 tickets. Yeah, I mean, that's part of the fun of it. But I guess that's where we're at these days. Was there a lot of people there?
We got there early. So there wasn't a whole lot of people. So it was good that way. They were setting up for there's 3 or 4 birthday parties I saw them setting up for. So we got there before that and out before the birthday party started, so the kid was able to have a lot of time with Chuck E. Cheese and he'd have to fight with a bunch of kids for him. So it was a good time all around, man. Get there early.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that everything went well. Chuck E. Cheese, everybody. Mike and his big day out at Chuck E. Cheese.
It was great, man. I had a blast, man. I was having fun playing some of those games.
And yeah, from what I understand, you were in Ohio. It would have been very beneficial for Derpy to show up and get it all on video, but fumbling the ball seems to be his thing.
That's Derpy's MO. He is Rashard Mendenhall.
I would have done anything to get a video of you crawling around through that tube.
I think the tube might have been as wide as me.
Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be. Welcome back to the show. Again, this is episode 932 of the Two Dum Yinzers. We're guys just 1 month away. Today is the 23rd of March, and we all know what's coming up on April 23rd, the NFL draft right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, guys. We are only literally 1 month away from the big day, Mike, 31 days. It's almost here.
Right around the corner, man. And I can't wait. Like I'm full of excitement. Like I'm going to Chuck E. Cheese. The NFL draft is my Chuck E. Cheese. I can't wait for this.
I can't wait for it either. Again, only a month away. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the Two Dum Yinzers. This is Monday.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
And that's right. Everybody's back. It's a new week. It's a new week. It's a new day, guys. Here we are. I don't know what the hell's going on around us. I don't know what's going on in the world. I don't know if we're even going to all be alive by the end of the week, but I do know this. We're here today. Welcome back to the show. A few things to go over, Mike, before we do kick things off. The Pirates play their last spring training game today against the Braves. This game is at 1:05. Starts here in a little over a half an hour. After this, Mike, they're off a couple days, and then they're kicking off their regular season. The opener, Mike, is Thursday against the Mets in New York. So this end of this week, it's gonna be a 3-game set on the road, and then it's gonna be a 3-game set in Cincinnati, and then they come home to open up at home against the Orioles. So Pirates this week. Also, the Penguins, they split over the weekend, Mike. They lose to the Jets. They beat the Jets 5-4 in a shootout, and they lose to the Canes yesterday 5-1. The Canes seem to have their number this year, but they'll get a chance to get back at it tomorrow as they will host the Colorado Avalanche at 7:00 p.m.
It feels like they've had our number for the decade. I can't remember the last time we beat the Canes, but the Penguins are still chugging along at a nice, comfortable spot for the playoffs. So.
Yeah, they sure do. They sitting in the second seed in the Metropolitan Division, and
I think so. I think that's what I saw last.
So they will be in. They're looking good, Mike. Again, better than they've looked the past couple years.
Yeah,
certainly. The last couple years, inconsistent at best. Down the stretch, they needed to win games, and they weren't able to win some of those games. So hopefully, they're not even in that position this year. But it seems like they're going to be in pretty good position to. Put themselves in there and do something this year. So hopefully they could do that. So much going on. Also, our Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Mike, they took a loss to the Tampa Bay Rowdies, 3-0 this weekend in Tampa Bay, but they'll be back at it on Wednesday, playing that first round game in the U.S. Open, Mike, on Wednesday. That is at 7:00 p.m. against Steel City. That will be at home, and that will be, again, the U.S. Open tournament game in soccer, Mike. That starts on Wednesday.
Yeah, so luckily the tournament does not have any effects on your bet with shaving your facial hair and your pubes.
It does not.
It does not. So they can falter in the tournament as long as they make it into out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
the first round of the playoffs.
And we got a while because, again, this is only their second game of the year. So I wouldn't rush it if I were you. It's got a way to go.
Hey, I just want your pubes glued onto my
face. We could do that right now. I could do that right now. It doesn't even have to be on a bet. But again, Mike, we still have baseball, hockey, soccer, and of course, what's left? Football season left to get through all that and to make sure to see if this how this bet goes. So it's still going to be a while. Also, Mike, a couple other things before we do get rolling is this: the UFL kicks off on Friday. That's right. You are going to have American football on your TV this Friday through Sunday. 4 games altogether. Friday, Birmingham takes on Louisville to kick off the season. And then on Saturday, there's 2 games. And on Sunday, there is a game, Mike. There's 30 former Steelers are on UFL rosters this year. So if you have a little bit of interest, maybe that just might tip it over for you. For me, it's having American football on my TV in spring. I love it. And again, also it's a little bit of an extra plus to see some familiar faces.
Yeah, I was going through some of those rosters and it's like, man, I remember when he started. Oh, I remember when he was getting actual important snaps in the NFL. It's just wild how time flies. 1 minute you're playing in the NFL, the next you're scraping by in the USFL.
Yeah, you ain't kidding, Mike. And not just things getting through quickly over the weekend. Of course, the NCAA tournament, Mike, from Thursday to Sunday, you have gotten through 2 rounds. They're already down to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA, Mike. That'll kick back off on Thursday. Believe it or not, there's 16 teams left. Mike, again, just 4 days through it. As I always say, you blink and it's going to be gone. This year's no different. And first 2 rounds gone just like that.
Yeah, gone like that. My brackets are all but destroyed. I still have Duke hanging on in one and Arizona hanging on in the other bracket. And mine are not looking pretty.
This is what it's going to look like, Mike. These are with the games Thursday, Iowa, Nebraska. That's the first game. Arizona in Arkansas. The second game, Illinois, Houston is the third game. I think I missed one in here somewhere. Arkansas, Arizona, Ohio, Texas and Purdue. I'm sorry, Texas and Purdue, Mike. And then on Friday you have St. John and Duke. You have Alabama versus Michigan, Michigan State versus UConn, Tennessee versus Iowa State. And then once you get to Saturday, you are now in the Elite 8 round. The Elite 8. Let's see, the Elite 8, yes, that'll start Saturday, go all the way through the rest of the weekend, Mike. And then when we come back next week, they're going to be down to four teams, the final 4, and then the following week after that, Mike, they play those games and get the national championship. I believe it's something like April 6th, April 4th. April 6th is the national championship, so it'll be here before you know it. Guys, let's get to the board. I do want to say good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome back. Glad to see everybody today. I don't want to miss out on anyone. Let's get to the board.
Let's do it.
Tortilla, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Tortilla Jackson all the way from Sacramento, California. He says, long live, long stream. That's right, baby. Welcome to the show. Always glad seeing Tortilla. John, dude, what's up? He says, afternoon, fellas. Always great seeing Dude on the terrible board as well. Hope you had a nice weekend, dude.
What up, dude?
Kenneth Jones says, hey, guys, what's going on? Kenneth, always great seeing you too, sir. Somber, howdy doody, man. How you doing, brother? Also, RB, I spent the weekend deep diving Cole Payton, of course, the quarterback that came in last week for the visit. God, I hate lefties, he says, but this kid has something. Great anticipation, great accuracy, above average arm. His mechanics need work, but something is there. That's interesting.
He was all ready to run him out of town. But, hey, looking at the tape, RB might actually convince me on Cole Payton.
And we will see. We will see. RB also says this wouldn't surprise me if he goes late second to mid third.
Wow.
To be honest, that's a big.
Wow, that's a. Ooh. Because I know, like, a lot of places, like, the ranking services are talking about him in, like, 6th, 7th round. And, if the talent's there, a GM and a team will do it because their favorite thing is I can mold them, I can use them, and if they think there's talent there, go ahead. It's just I just don't trust a lot of small school quarterbacks. That's just my thing on them. But
you know what's the thing about small school quarterbacks? You're not supposed to trust all of them, but every once in a while,
you
find that diamond in the rough.
Yeah,
and I think that's why a lot of people keep an eye on these schools. Josh Allen didn't necessarily come from the most attractive situation.
No, he didn't.
I think at the end of the day, that's why you keep an eye on these people. And again, who knows? Anything could happen, Mike, with the draft being just 1 month away from today. It's unbelievable. It's going to be here. And then after that, Mike, it's all downhill from there. You're getting into rookie camp. You're getting into OTAs, everything, Mike, heading into the summertime. And again, the UFL will kind of sort of allow us to be a crutch basically for a little while, but then once it's all said and done, you realize how much you missed the NFL.
Oh yeah, there's nothing like it. Like I can watch that stuff in the background, but sit there and watch game in, game out, you realize there's those guys are good, but then there's NFL good, and it's night and day.
Absolutely. Tortilla Jackson says Rashard Derpy Hall, always dropping the ball. I like it.
Always.
I like it. Somber says from a scout in attendance, LSU's Manjur Delaney just clocked back-to-back 4.38s in the 40, absolutely flying. Billy Gates. RB says, that don't shock me. Delaney looks fast on film. Cody says, was there any MILFs there? Was there any MILFs at Chuck E. Cheese is what Cody wants to know. And I think these are the important questions, Mike.
I did not see any MILFs, no.
What a disappointment.
It was an utter disappointment.
You need to start taking your kids other places that have more chicks and MILFs and things like this.
I know. I'm letting everyone down. I'm sorry.
Steeler Freak, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Big John Stud, middle name Mud, all the way from Las Vegas. He says, I just hope that we can give Rodgers, we can have a Rodgers quarterback discussion today. I can't imagine anybody having this conversation anywhere. It just doesn't seem right. Cody says, hey, Ryan, what happened to Kansas basketball? Do you know? You know what? I didn't pay attention, but just by the way you're asking, I'm assuming that they might have lost. I do know that, of course, that is Tyrone's squad. I know he was excited to watch him yesterday, and I did realize as I was just reading through these teams that Kansas was not in the next slotted in games, Mike. So I don't know what happened with Kansas. Do you see it?
I don't see it either. I think they lost.
I think they did too, because again, I don't recall reading the name as I was going down the schedule, so that can't be good. As a matter of fact, I had forgotten entirely. I didn't really pay as much attention to the basketball over the weekend as I wanted to.
Yeah, they lost to St. John's by 2.
Yeah, Tyrone's not going to be happy. I don't even.
He might not be here today.
I was going to say I don't even see him on the board. Let's go to Cody. Cody says this: the pubes will go on Vanilla's head. They will. That's the deal. That's the deal.
Hey, if our teams win playoff games or playoff rounds,
it's worth it.
You got to do what you got to do to support the team. Gotta support the team.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Somber says the Pittsburgh Steelers have agreed to sign former Chicago Bears and Seattle's running back Travis Homer. Rappaport brings special teams and return depth returned for Seattle in 2022. That is true. Travis Homer, Mike, as of this morning, is coming to the Steelers.
Yeah.
I know that RB likes him. I mean, he was at first, I seen him responding to it in the group chat. Then he came back saying he was something in special teams. So again, Mike, after losing Connor Hayward, maybe some of these little scrappier guys that could do things on special teams aren't such a bad idea. As we still try to fill out this roster, Mike, we still have a list of guys that we still have to sign right here from within. We'll get to that list here in just a few moments. But yes, Travis Homer, is on his way to Pittsburgh, guys. RB says, the UFL, the still don't get it. Still the same 8 god-awful drizzling shits B-League quarterbacks. That league will never improve without taking chances on quarterbacks. These same 8 guys they keep using suck. Let's go to RB, where he follows up by saying, Homer is an elite punt protector. He's here to replace Killebrew. There you go. There it is. Replacing on some special teams. And again, Killebrew, I always listen. You always heard how great he was. But special teams is special teams at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, I don't know. What was he doing more than Carson Bruner? What was he doing more than any of these special team guys that are, they're just out there playing their asses off every time? He fell into that category, Mike, where he finally fell into the elite names. Mm-hmm. And you didn't even have to see elite play from Miles Killebrew anymore. He was still going to end up on the Pro Bowl team, and he was still going to end up getting those recognitions that he was getting certainly later in his career on special teams for the Steelers. But at the end of the day, I think that there's a lot of guys. I think Ben Skoranek would certainly be up for it when you're talking special teams. I think Carson Bruner played well. Mike, how much of a loss to a guy like Miles Killebrew? How big is that for a team? Now, I can understand. I almost imagine what you're going to say and what any analyst would say. But at the end of the day, when you're talking 53 guys, and I lose my special teams captain, I think I'm okay with that.
One of his big assets was I think he was the punt protector, the guy that's right there before the punter, picking up anyone that would sneak through. He was really good at that. He had a couple block kicks that he was good for, and just those little things that really don't show up. But yes, can be replaced, and it looks like Homer is going to replace him perfectly. Just be right in there and be that guy to go. So it's not a huge loss, but hey, we got the guy back. We got someone to fill that role.
And, yeah, absolutely. And again, at the end of the day, you're talking, your big guys are, again, we always talk about your quarterbacks, your left tackles, your corners, players of these positions. So I think we're going to rebound again. Travis Homer on his way to the Steelers as of this morning. Cody says this, does anybody know if Kansas made it? Does anybody know if Kansas made it? I'm still not seeing Ty on the board.
Man, they are just beating their boy up.
Also, Tortilla says this, Travis returned an onside kick 44 yards for a touchdown.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but until he plays for us, I don't know. These kind of things always kind of go this way.
Right? Remember, what was the guy who did the toe tap on the sideline to try and down a punt for us?
Yeah. The white guy. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
Was it what was that guy's
He
name?
came from New England. He was a white guy.
Wasn't it Gunner? I think it was Gunner.
Yeah, Gunner Olszewski. Yep.
Let's see. RB says, don't you have Google? LOL. Somber says, Homer's 27, 5'11", 215 pounds. Tortilla says, I don't think he's a returner. He could return, but he's a good special teams guy. That's what I'm hearing. That is what I'm hearing. What is Google? Cody says, Somber Homer also returned kickoffs for the Seahawks in 2022, but has not done it since. Cody says, have Caleb Johnson return kicks this year. Somber says, depth, we definitely need it. Tortilla says, Kenneth Jones, my man. He says, Ben was Miami of Ohio, small school. And that's maybe, I think maybe kind of sort of in a weird way, that's kind of what I was getting at, Sometimes you get that guy when the Eli Mannings and the Phillip Rivers are the big conversation, like sometimes getting that other guy. It works, but a lot of times it doesn't as well. So, you gotta look at your risk management.
Mm-hmm.
Tortilla, he says, Cody, there's hella MILFs at the bookstore. The bookstore, Cody. You're introducing Cody to new places. I like it, Tortilla. The bookstore.
And Cody, books are those things that have a lot of things like letters put together or make words and put a bunch of words together and they make sentences and those make paragraphs and the paragraphs make stories. Just helping you out, brother. You didn't know what Google was, so I'm assuming you needed help on the books. And you did fail your safety test on Friday.
I could just hear him at work right now under his breath. Oh, those things suck. Let's go right here to Cody. Cody says Chuck E. Cheese sucks. Chuck E. Cheese sucks.
Who said? Cody said that?
Cody said that.
That's why he's number one on the enemy list, baby.
Let's go right here to Somber. Tyrone fully crashed out. I don't think he'll be around today. Miku, what's up? Always great seeing Miku 5 on the terrible board. Miku says this. Homer will be playing mostly in special teams. Doesn't mean much. Somber says, I liked what I saw from Brewer. Honestly, I did too. I didn't know what to expect from Bruner. Again, I certainly was very involved in his dad's career, Mike, when he was a rookie, was when the Steelers went to the Super Bowl in the mid-90s, was here for quite some time. Mark Bruner, of course, the tight end, and his son making way, Carson Bruner, on the special teams of this team. And I got to be honest, he's better on special teams than Mark Bruner. And Mark Bruner was a good tight end. But I was really impressed with Carson Bruner's efforts on special teams more than I was with Mark Bruner on tight end. And listen, that's only a year. That's only after a year.
Rookie year. Okay.
Talk to me in 3 years and we'll talk. But again, at the end of the day, Mike, very impressive on special teams. The guy was in damn near every tackle.
Yeah, he was down there a lot. I like it. I like him.
Also, Mark Malone, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Mark Malone on the terrible board. He says, big injury, though. Mark Malone is saying, Somber says they're trying to make sure Johnston doesn't get his knee folded backwards again. Cody says, after rewatching the Steelers-Dolphins game at the gym today, Tua might be the worst quarterback ever. That's a really good opinion. And you know what, Mike, I just can't believe it's taken this long for people to see how he's not that good of a quarterback. People still, all the way until being traded from Miami. Oh, you got to get Tua. Tua literally did nothing.
No.
He was getting a great situation with a great offensive coach and great offensive players. And again, still very little done. And as a matter of fact, this year, even when they got good, Mike, it was their running game that was moving them along. So again, I was never a big fan of Tua. I just never was.
Me either. Even in college when they had, you got to suck for Tua. We got to tank for Tua. I just did not see it in those Alabama quarterbacks. When you're like Ohio State quarterbacks, I hate to say it because I hate scouting just the helmet, but you have that shit ton of talent around you. You better be putting up numbers like they were in college. But no, Tua's a starting NFL quarterback, but he's not like a top 10 quarterback, top 15 quarterback, like people are trying to make him out to be. Before his concussions, he was a competent quarterback, but he's gotten worse since those head injuries.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, how could you not?
Absolutely, man. And I mean, he's human. At the end of the day, there's always going to be something in the back of your mind. Ralph, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Ralph Williams on the terrible board. He says, let's see if Homer is a homer. Oh! Chad Schrader, he says, what's up, Ryan and Mike? Always great seeing Chad on the terrible board. Hope you had a great weekend, sir. Ralph says this, Mike, we have a new head coach with a new idea, so maybe some better return game and special teams.
Could be.
Chad says this, here we go, Steelers, here we go. That's right, baby. Mark Malone says, I'll take the quarterback out of Miami, Florida. No, you won't. Stop it. Stop saying that.
You mean this guy? You mean this guy right here? Quarterback out of Miami? Oh, wait. I'm sorry.
Real nice.
Hold on. I get them confused sometimes. Oh, this guy?
Oh, hell no.
There he is, everybody. He was in town last week. Yes, he was in town last week. Let's go move forward here. I'm going to say Squeege. What's up? Welcome to the show. Always great to see Squeege on the terrible board. He says, what's up, fellas? Always great seeing Squeege. Love the name as always. Somber says Cody uses Lugal, not Google.
Shotgun to the dick.
Cody says that sounds like the worst place on the planet. Tortilla says Google for Dummies book is Cody's biggest enemy. Corey over Don't Drink That. My man, what's going on, brother? He says, good afternoon, fellas. Great news. I was able to fix my laptop after Best Buy told me it was unfixable. Don't take your shit to Best Buy. I'm glad you got that fixed, man. I know that you were a bit concerned last week near the end of the week. I'm glad you got that taken care of. The discussion today is a bunch of random. We're going to talk a lot about free agency. We're going to talk about this draft squeege coming up in 1 month from today. A lot of things we're going to get into. We're going to talk about these Steelers that are still unsigned, what's going to happen with them, and was enough done in the middle of the defense to make any difference to the defense. Again, as you could recall, there were certain games last year that the ball got ran down our throat. It seemed that we had picked up for the most part and was able to fix things at a certain point, but still, even after that, there was a real shaky feel to the run defense throughout the season. So again, Mike, those middle five guys, talking about your three linemen and your two middle linebackers, making nothing happen at those five positions. Is that going to what's that going to do to the run game this year? We still do have the draft a month away.
Yep.
But again, my questions will be answered then, as we still have other holes and things that we are trying to fill with the draft. So going to be very interesting. Mike will talk about that, what the middle of the defense has done or can do to improve, because at the end of the day, they got the ball ran down their throats. And
yep.
And I hate to keep going back to it, but I mean, the Buffalo Bills game at home, 250 yards against you. Anywhere, anytime, if somebody runs for 250 yards, that's telling you that something's not right with your D. And again, as they were saying on the board, Mike, though, all different coaches this year. So could the schemes, could be putting them in the right places? Could all that be a difference? I think that it could. So we'll get into that and so much more today. Let me see what else we got going on here. Cody says this. He says, hey, I got an idea. Let's go meet chicks where they're probably smart. Said no guy ever. Very good point. Very good point. Valid. Chef Salad, what's up? He said he is the Connor replacement. That might be it. And again, I thought the Connor, like after a while, it wasn't certainly at the beginning of the duration he was here. I certainly kind of fell for Meatwad, and I thought that, he's doing a serviceable job. He does the things that they ask him to do really well. Yeah. They're not big things, but they're kind of big things. And what he was able to do them. So, if he is Connor's replacement, good luck. Let's hope that he could carry on what Connor was doing, like as Meatwad Connor Hayward heads off to Las Vegas, Mike, with a lot of other players. Las Vegas is going to look like a whole new team this year. Going to be very interesting to see what goes on in the AFC West.
Yeah, that's going to be a hot division, I have a feeling.
And I do want to say this as well, Mike. We made a mistake on Friday. We were talking about the schedule for this year. It's the NFC East is the oddball. So it'll be the first place team for the NFC East, which is the Eagles. So we get the NFC South and the Eagles out of the NFC this year.
Ooh, the Eagles. I like it. little Steagles matchup.
Hopefully it's here. I don't know if I don't think we've ever won in Philadelphia.
I can't remember the last time we won there.
It was like 50 years or something like this.
God, it's been way too fucking long, I tell you that.
Squeech says maybe I wasn't paying attention to him enough. I don't remember Bruner at all last year. He was big on special teams, Squeech. He was making a lot of nice tackles. He'd be the guy that comes busting through the crowd on punt returns and kickoffs and things like this. On punt and kickoffs, and made a lot of tackles. Him and Benny Sco. He was up there with Benny Sco as far as I can remember. A lot of plays made by those two gentlemen. Just learning. What's up, man? Penn State wrestling national champions, Mike. You got to be proud of these guys in skin-tight singlets, lining up in doggy style, bending over one another, and just really grabbing at it until they were the best at it. It is no surprise to me that Penn State is dominant at this point.
Yeah, we start them young, training. Yeah, that's key right there. Jeez, I couldn't even say that. But no, they whooped some major ass up there, man. A hell of a program.
Who did they play? Who did they?
Just everyone from like the Big Ten, I think, or Nationals. I don't know who, but I just know they are now 13 out of the last 15 years. They're national champions.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Sandusky trained, as Mark Malone says on the terrible board.
Wow. Wow.
Cody, and you know what? You got to wonder, because all the famous people and everybody that's on these Epstein files, you wonder if anybody from that situation was on there, because why not, right? I mean, they were playing with little kids. It certainly falls into the suit. So it just makes you wonder what the hell we're going to find out as we move forward. Let's go to right here. Cody says, hey, the two of yous need to take it easy. The two of yous need to take it easy. Somber says, sucking on two of these. Sucking on two of these. John, my man, he says, this Ryan worked at the computer department at Best Buy before he got fired.
Why do you think our equipment runs so smooth?
Cody says, why? Well, wait a minute. You're the producer / engineer. I don't know if
No. I don't see nothing that says / engineer. I just see producer.
No, it's the same thing. I could lay it out if you need me to, but
nope.
Cody says, why have one of when you could get Tua? These nuts. Mark Malone, Miami U quarterback, is the guy. Stop saying that. Because the more you say that, the more Mike puts it up on the screen. And Carson Beck is repugnant.
Where's he looking at? Is he looking off the safety? Is he looking off the edge? What's going on?
We'll go to the actual quarterback. Go to the because he's repugnant. Now look at the other guy's trying to make himself look goofy. At least this guy. All right, let's move on. Tortilla says Beck looks like he eats butter sticks. Chad Schrader says, if Carson Beck gets drafted to us, I'm going to do like Mike said on the last stream, going to jump off a bridge. I'd be very surprised. There's just so many things that we need to do. Like, and again, it almost seems beneficial bringing in another project quarterback at this point. But I guess you don't know. I wouldn't think that we're going to draft Carson Beck. And even in those later rounds, Mike, as you're starting to, work on depth and things like that, I think the depth is really important in this draft, certainly with the offense and defensive line. So I don't know.
I just don't see quarterback in play early in the draft for the team, unless, they're just paying lip service to Will Howard of what they're saying about him. And this draft to me seems, getting in the first two rounds, a guard and a wide receiver. Then after that, filling in your defensive line depth, grabbing a middle linebacker, and rounding out that secondary. I just don't see a spot for a quarterback until like the 6th, 7th round. I don't. There's
and then if you're getting a quarterback at that point, it seems unnecessary.
Yeah, exactly. It's someone to bring along to be like a backup type quarterback to have on the roster. So I just don't see one in the first 3 rounds unless they really fall in love with the guy and then they take him.
I do know, Mike, the 2027 draft is big. A lot of people, not just the Steelers, are anticipating the amount of quarterback talent that's being projected to come out of the draft next year. So again, we're going to have company. It isn't like it's just going to be like, all right, well, the Steelers just got to finish bad enough. They'll be able to get a good quarterback. Like they just, a lot of people, I keep reading 2027 draft is getting a lot of people's attention. certainly if you don't have the most ideal quarterback situation on your team, or even if you do have a good quarterback and you're looking for that next step guy.
Yep.
So my next season, of course, 1 month from today is the big draft in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And you know what? They are taking no time. Like, they chopped down a bunch. I forget what it was, maybe 100 trees. They added a big the trees around the stadium. They cut them down. They added a big cell phone tower, a big, huge temporary cell phone tower that's going to be able to take care of everybody, apparently, because there's going to be a billion people there.
Yeah.
I'm sure most of them are going to be texting and taking pictures and sending their pictures and everything else. So they did start, Mike, I think 100. I think I could be wrong, but for some reason I think I remember them saying 100 trees near and around Acrisure Stadium. It was cut down this weekend, Mike. Also, that in the and whatever else I said, the cell.
Nothing like ripping out a bunch of trees and throwing up a cell phone tower. Yeah. Is that just not a commentary on today's environment?
Well, that's why people are pissed off. They're literally. I'm going and I didn't read that. If I did, I'd have more detail, obviously. But you could see that there's like a lot of people that had dissatisfied faces as their emotion, their emoji responses, Mike. It was the one about the tree. There was a bunch of the upset faces and things like this. So whatever. At the end of the day, there's enough trees. Come on. Have you ever driven down the highway? You ever see the millions of trees on both sides? I'm okay with a couple of trees getting shut down for the draft. It's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. Steeler Freak says Beck has the lazy eye of the tagger. Corey,
I don't know why that tickles me. That is great.
Corey, don't drink that, says John, Steeler Freak. I worked at Geek Squad's warehouse and repaired iPads and laptops, but I didn't want to take it apart myself if it was something HP would have replaced it for free. Squeege says, where should we draft it? You know what? That's a very good question, Squeege. We're gonna get into that too, because again, at the end of the day, I know offensive line is high on the list. I know wide receiver should certainly be up there. I know the line depth. So, the inside linebacker question is a really good question. I'm going to get to that shortly. Cody says the Carson Beck, Mike McCarthy stare down would be wild, but hey, at least we'll have two of them, he says. Cody on the Tua kick today. I like it, though. Very creative, Cody is. Somber says first 3 picks, in my opinion. Also, Tortilla says rising up. Beck on the street. I'm not blind. I need glasses. Summer says, first 5 picks. First 5 picks. He changed that up a little bit. Cody says if Carson Beck and Mike McCarthy have a stare down, everyone else on the team would feel weird. Yeah, let's go right here. Sandusky trained, Mike. Sandusky trained. Just learning homophobia, Ryan. I don't know if I'm afraid of homos, because I'm not afraid of them. I don't know if phobia is the right word. I'm just I'm straight. That's all. We'll just leave it at that. Let's do Scoot up here too. Mike loves Penn State. Cody says, and you know what? All fun and games aside, he does. He's been a lifelong Penn State guy, and you know what? I respect that, and I can always respect that, because at the end of the day, he stuck through with them, through and through. And a lot of people jumped ship after the scandals and the Sanduskis and the Paternos. So at the end of the day, you know what? Good for you.
I was there. I was there for the team. I was there for the players.
Yeah, that's
like they had nothing to do with what was going on. And, I felt bad, like, how they were getting rolled into it. Like, they had no idea what the hell was going on. So I supported those kids, and the kids that stayed there. I rooted for them more than I normally would have. Even the guys who left, I understood why you left. I never faulted for a player for leaving during that time, but yeah, I root for the players. Those are my guys.
Listen. This is your favorite football team. It's always been your favorite football team. If a handful of idiots do something that's not going to change your favorite team, they got rid of the guys and things are got back in normal. So
I'm not. Raven say, "Oh, we're gonna put that Paterno statue up." Like, no, he knew what was going on, and he died before anything before he was able to be punished. So rip down that statue, take away his wins, or put major asterisks next to like what happened with those guys.
And listen, it's never not going to be fun giving you the shit for it, but at the end of the day, I get it.
Yeah,
believe me, because listen, Pitt stinks all the time, and I don't jump ship on them. So there's something to be said about that. I don't know what it is, but something to be said about that. Let's jump up there on the board right here where Squeege says, I'm going to Pittsburgh from out of state for the draft. I haven't been to a game, so I'm pumped to be around Steeler. You're going to have a blast. And you know what's going to be weird, though, Mike? There's going to be so many people. It's not going to be just Steeler fans. It's going to be almost 800,000 people entirely. They're going to be Kansas City fans. They're going to be Baltimore fans, Cleveland fans. But again, at the end of the day, I think if you're coming in from out of town, look for those pockets of the tailgaters, because I know the Pittsburghers are looking very much so into tailgating. I think you're going to be able to find good company, but just beware. There's going to be a lot of people from out of town, and that just means enemies in our territory. But what are you going to do? He follows it up by saying, my friend who's a Browns fan is driving, and we're staying with a Panthers fan. I would say this to you: no fan of a Browns team should be a friend. But you know what? I'm not judging. Squeege. Browns fans, I guess, are human too.
Are they? Are they really?
Just kidding, my man. I hope everything goes well. I hope to see you there and everything. But you will be around a lot of Steeler fans, Mike, but a lot of others, again, coming in from everywhere. It's going to be somewhat of a madhouse, I do think. Let's go to Tortilla. CTE stands for cross those eyes. Cross those eyes. So Steeler Freak says this: 25. If you would touch anything electronic Ryan owns, all your computer knowledge will be gone, like frontal lobotomy.
That is fucking true.
Let's go right here. He says, Cody says they Abraham Lincoln the place. He says, Mark Malone, he says, we need more trees, less people. But you know what? I never see people falling over from a storm and killing anybody. Like, I seen a car get smashed. What's the chances? This video, this lady was pulling up to a stop sign, and as she's sitting at the stop sign in this storm, this tree literally just falls over that exact second and smashes the lady's car. What's the chance? When was the last time a person has ever been in a storm and they fell on you, Mike, and smashed your car?
Never. Never. Luckily.
Let's go to Cody says we need COVID 26. Mark Malone says this: top 5 picks should be wide receiver, left guard, left tackle, quarterback in no particular order. And here's something that gets that kind of caught my attention. Like, I'm looking at a list this morning of our needs. Why does safety continue to keep popping up on our list of needs for the draft? I'm seeing all these positions, of course, left tackle, left guard, positions of need, wide receiver, and safety keeps making its way to the list. Like, we're almost getting into R.D. Smith tight end territory with all these safeties. We still have Duggar. We still got Elliott. We got Ramsey. What's the first guy we got? Not
Savage.
And then Brisker. So again, I don't know. Maybe it was just the article that I read, but Mike, again, I don't know how it could possibly be in our at least this year's draft agenda to be going after safety. Am I wrong?
I think you might be. When we don't have Duggar, we haven't brought him back, but I wouldn't mind bringing him back as a backup. But really, like, looking at our safeties, like, you got Brisker, Elliott, Savage. Those are your 3 guys who have NFL experience. Jalen Ramsey, he's going to be a guy that bounces all over the place. Then you're counting on undrafted free agent Sebastian Castro and something called a Jack Henderson. A lot of these guys are on like 1-year deals. So if you can get a safety in the 2nd and 3rd round to be your long-term guy and to be the backup to these guys this year, that's not a bad draft move right there, to have that next man up for if we don't extend any of these guys after the season. So yeah, I think safety will still be a need.
Why
Deshaun Elliott's injury
we
too?
Literally have nothing of. I think we don't have a left guard. We don't have I mean, you think that these would be positions that you're drafting and getting depth for. The fact that we have 54 safeties, again, I understand that the concept of they're eventually going to have to be replaced, but to have, and again, Kyle Duggar can be signed. We don't know. I mean, he could be signed very easily, and that would just be another safety. But at the end of the day, it just caught my attention because I do know that the inside linebacker position is something that we certainly need. The left-hand side of our offensive line, wide receivers, the whole way down, the things that we actually need, and that safety kept making the list. But again, I maybe that's what ultimately it is. They want to get an early start, just in case, because it is kind of an aging safety room. Let's go to Steel Loyal. What's up, Steel Loyal? Always great seeing you. He says Jackson Smith and Jigma and TJ Water making the same amount of money per year.
That is wild. Yeah, because he just signed a big contract yesterday or today.
And he's such a playmaker in every play. And how much look how involved he was with winning the Super Bowl and with getting the team there.
Yeah.
And again, what did our guy with that money do? He got 7 sacks last year.
Exactly. I'd rather pay JSN that money than TJ Watt. Because JSN's in conversation, like he potentially could be the best wide receiver in the NFL. The kid is that fucking good.
Let's go to Mark Malone. Mike was one of Sandusky's assistant coaches, wasn't he?
No, I was not. Let's not get that out there anywhere. No.
I do want to go to Hanjon Quinn, and I do recall Hanjon Quinn did tell us that it was a mix between his kids' names, so I'm not going to feel as bad if I do mess it up. But I'm going to say Hanjon Quinn is where we're going to go. Hanjon Quinn says this: anytime they don't like what is there when they pick, trade down and take a 2027 pick. We have 12 picks. No way we use them all. So push as many as you want to next year and use them to trade up.
Which might be part of their philosophy this year. Because I know a lot of these picks that they wanted this year, the comp picks and the trades they made, weren't going to be used to get a quarterback this year. That's the way everything was lining up. Then half the class went back to college and the half that came out, like you have one that might be a first round pick. So yeah, I would have no problem if they would do that. Like use, fill needs when you need when you can in the draft, but don't be afraid to push back to next year or trade down and get picks for next year, but still get picks in this draft too.
I think so too, Mike. You have to use that. You have to wisely use those picks because at the end of the day, if you use them this year, there's going to be a lot of guys that probably get cut, don't even make the team. So you're in essence, you're basically just taking the draft pick and throwing it away. Why not? Why not package it into something, work it into something to try to make it to work it to your advantage? Because at the end of the day, Mike, again, it just seems like if you do stick around and wait all 12 picks, I mean, what are you really grabbing in those later picks? Basically nothing. If you could somehow use that to get you what you want, then I would certainly go that route as well. That's a lot of picks in the NFL draft, like the most of any team in the NFL.
And especially when you figure if a team uses all 7 of their picks, not all 7 of those guys make the active roster to begin with. You're hoping to sneak 1 or 2 onto the practice squad. Absolutely. And there might be 1 or 2 that you cut outright. So you got like maybe 3 or 4 guys that might make your active roster, and you're getting 12. There's going to be a lot of picks moved.
Let me go on. The next comment, Mike, is by Pussy Destroyer 87. Great and I got to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. I dig that name. I think it's a cool name. I think it's funny. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the board. Pussy Destroyer 87. Pussy Destroyer says this, Mike, the plan should be to take the best player available. I wish Pussy Destroyer would comment a little bit more. I don't know.
You keep saying Pussy Destroyer.
Aaron J, there it is. Here we go. Steelers with the Rockets. Great way to kick off the week. Great to see you, Aaron. Always great to see you on the terrible board. Cody, he says this. Mike loves Indiana football.
Hell yeah, baby. Hoosiers, baby. We're number 1.
Just learning says wrestlers. That's who gets all the babes. The wrestlers, they get all the babes. RB says I constantly see the "We Are" post, and I always respond to them pedophiles. Squeed says, I see you guys there. I shout you out for sure. For sure, brother. Man. Absolutely. As we start getting a little closer to, we'll start kind of laying out some more details of where we're going to be and what we're going to be doing and how to find us at the draft. But that'd be awesome, dude. I know Ty's coming over from the other side of Ohio. Squeege is working his way, and I know a few other people. So it's going to be a blast, guys. Again, 1 month from today, just 1 month from today. Also, Squeech follows it up by saying, what round do you think the Steelers will trade up in, Mike?
I'm hoping they trade up in the second. That's me personally. I think we have enough picks in the 3rd and 4th round to make it happen. to be able to move up in the second. That's where I want them to do. You can get your guard or receiver round 1, and then in round 2 you get your receiver or guard based off of what you did in the first round, and trade up if you have to. I think a trade up in the second round would be awesome.
Let's go up to Mike. Let's go right here to Cody. Cody says, make sure you yell really loud. They love that. Somber says, don't dance with big girls. If they fall, they could resemble a tree. That's a good point. I tell you what, Somber, he's on top of it. Steel Loyal says, we need a true safety still. Duggar gone, Mark Malone says. Also, Tortilla, because it's a good safety draft, and we have no safeties under contract next year other than Ramsey. Somber says, everyone signed are strong safeties that could play both. Mark Malone says, we do have Fidel Castro, though.
I do not get people's infatuation with Sebastian Castro.
Somber says, free safety, followed up by Han John Quinn says, this con is setting the tone with these under-the-radar depth signings to push some of those picks to next year. Would rather have 12 next year than this year. And you know what? This was supposed to be the big one too, Mike. It was just the way that a lot of these quarterbacks decided to go back to college next year. That's the big difference.
Yep, and because you knew like what we would do this year if all those guys came out. We would just be arguing over which one should we take, how much should we spend to trade up to get the guy,
and how this guy does this and we don't want him, and this guy does that and we hate this guy, and we let's go to Cody. Says, I was so bored this weekend. I watched Ramsey pick off Jalen Hurts in the flag football. A lot of flag football, and I didn't catch a lot of that either, Mike. I did see flag football over the weekend. Steeler Freak says, I would prefer a left guard who can play center for Frazier Insurance. Somber says this, Delaney's official time was 4.35 per Shefty. John Steeler Freak says this. He says, hand job Finn. That's Finchy's nickname on the Vegas trip. And Finchy's going to be heading out to Las Vegas next month, Mike.
Oh,
I think it's right before the draft.
Hand job Finn's he's going out to Vegas. That's awesome.
Let's go to Steel Loy, which is at Cody. I saw that too. Also saw Jalen Hurts got sacked by Logan Paul. Somber, we have Kaufman and McCollum for inside offensive line depth. We do want to say that if you missed it, I think most people probably did see this Brock Hoffman, the early signing that fell through. Mike, we are bringing him over on a 1-year deal. He said it's 26 years old. They're not talking about him being this great lineman, Mike, but they're saying he's a bully. And you know what? It kind of seems that that's the trend that this team is taking this year, getting bigger, stronger, bully type guys to maybe, go out there and bully some people around instead of it happening the other way maybe this year.
Yeah, and his signing does not preclude the Steelers from taking a guard early in the draft either. He's not someone that's going to be here for a long time. Hopefully he's just here for a good time this year. I'm not stoked about the signing. I don't think he's that good of an NFL starter. So this move right here screams swing guard, someone who could bounce around the line. I still say you get Vega or Pregnon in the draft, or Rutledge later in the draft. One of those guys, because this guy right here, he's not the long-term answer. Anderson's not the long-term answer either. To me, this is just a good depth move, a good energy guy to have on the team, but not something that's going to move the needle big time. Not going to take this line to the next level.
Cody says that Steelman I would trade. You know what, Mark Malone. I'm sorry, Mark Malone. He says we need to get out of the first 2 rounds with Vega, Concepcion, or Cooper and Pregnon. Also, Cody says that Steel I would trade TJ, Patrick Queen, Broderick Jones in our first round for Jaden Daniels. Mark Malone might have to trade up from our second Mike. Also, Somber with Cody, LOL. Still loyal. Jaden Daniels was slinging that rock, LOL, but I don't know about that, Cody. You know what? And at the end of the day, he took the Commanders to the NFC Championship game, and was that his rookie year?
Yeah.
So he's something. Whatever you got to say about Jaden Daniels, who takes their team to the NFC Championship game their rookie year. Only a few players, Mike. Only a few players have ever done that. So I don't think that guy. I don't think Jaden Daniels is overrated in any kind of way. Maybe if they build a better team, maybe if he goes somewhere else, maybe he'll have some success in the league one day. But even for the situation that the Commanders give him, like, still successful. Again, taking in his rookie season his team to the championship game.
Yeah, I was very impressed his rookie year. It looked like he took a step back this year, but it's the Washington franchise, man. They can ruin any good young player.
And they sure can. Cody says, yeah, he balled out this week. Chad, he says, Mike, I heard the rumor too. You worked for Sandusky.
I did not work for Sandusky. I worked in Sandusky, Ohio. And that's where the disconnect's coming from, guys.
You were in Sandusky is what you were saying.
I was.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I tried to not phrase it that way because I knew everyone would pounce on that.
Hey, you know what they say. You can
see a
take
hole in
Mike
your
out
foot?
of this. You can take Mike out of Sandusky, but you can't take Sandusky out of Mike.
Not
Ooh,
wrong. Not wrong.
let's go on.
You sick fuck.
Chad, I'm sorry. Yes, Chad follows it up by saying, "I will be that. I will be the day round 2 and 3 for the draw." Okay, awesome,
Nice.
good man. And again, I will try to put out more detail here over the next couple of weeks. I have to make a couple of phone calls today, actually, to find some scoop out. So we will certainly keep you updated. And again, can't wait to see a lot of people. Can't wait to see everybody, Mike, that is coming into town or that is already in town,
Yeah,
coming down to the draft.
it'd be a damn good time.
Thunder the Tapman was the one that exposed Sandusky. Y'all got it backwards, Mike.
See, look at that. That guy right there screams, I'm gonna fuck up, a pedophile's life up right here. I'm gonna call the authorities on them. I'm not gonna help them. Yes, Thunder the Tapman is on the right side of history.
Somber says Castro is also a strong safety. That was Steel Loyal, the one that had the Tapman, the Thunder the Tapman comment was Steel Loyal. Cody says Mike played on the team. He was left bench.
Well, I was left out.
Let's go to Mark Malone, where he says, if we have a Castro and a Corleone. I was telling my buddy, he's not really into sports, and we were texting the other day, and I mentioned about Corleone. And he's Italian, though. And just like every Italian that I can imagine, Mike is probably going to be, he wants Corleone.
No, why not? I want Dante Corleone.
Yeah.
He has the name. He looks the part of a Steeler. It makes too much sense. So that means he will be drafted right before us.
And he would be certainly what we need, something that we could surely use in the middle of that defensive line. John Steeler Freak says, I have seen Super Bowl competitive teams go to shit and have to play third string offensive lines. Never can have enough quality depth in both trenches. Hand John Quinn says only the Pittman trade cost us for next year. Another reason for signing players who have been released doesn't hurt you the next year. Richard says this. I do agree. We need to draft some defensive backs. We never seem to have enough ever during the season. We always seem to have a lot of injuries. And you know what? It played out exactly like that for you last year, Richard, because again, throughout the season, you were losing a lot of defensive backs, dropping like flies, and there was always somebody there to step up, Mike. And they did a really good job last year, I thought, of packing that. Certainly the safety room.
Yeah.
There was never not enough players. They always had somebody, even when Slay went bad, and even when Eccles injury, or obviously Slay was a corner, but and then the Eccles injury, and then all the way down, there was always somebody there. So you can never have enough depth. I agree with that. I couldn't agree more. Go ahead, Mike.
It is just a weird superpower that the Colin Weedle regime have, is finding defensive backs late in the season to plug in for a game or two while the starters come back, and you really don't feel like you missed a beat. It's weird. It's uncanny.
Steel Loyal says it's good depth. Cody says the only one in Pittsburgh that gets bullied is Keanu Benton. Mike, that's a big question mark. That's a concern for me. Again, we'll get into that shortly when we start talking about the middle of that defense.
Yeah.
Did we do enough, or did we do anything in the middle to try to improve that? Yes, bringing over a couple of good safeties will certainly help, but at the end of the day, you don't want your safety making every tackle on the run, of course. So again, we'll talk about that, what they're going to have to do, Mike. And Keanu Benton, will he ever be? Was he, and will he ever be the man in the middle of the Steelers defensive line? I just don't know. We'll get into that shortly. Somber says Queen gets bullied too. And Joe Quinn says, I'll take loan at 21 if he's not there. Trade back a few spots, whatever the second pick is, and get for 2027. Cody said, and Isaac Seumalo, he got pancaked all year. Mark Malone, yeah, Hoffman, McCollum, great interior depth. And that is true, Mike. Also, McCollum, he also signs as well. He's on a 1-year deal as well, Mike. So McCollum and Hoffman, there is a little bit of offensive depth. Certainly over the weekend, it got taken care of.
Yeah, I like that McCollum re-signing. I thought every time he's had to fill in the past couple of years he's been here, the offense hasn't missed a beat. You can tell he's not the player Frazier is, but he's a nice little backup for a game or two. He's steady Eddie back there. I like that one. I like that a lot more than the Hoffman signing. I hope I'm wrong on Hoffman. I hope I am.
Hey, probably not. I mean, guys of that caliber, they usually are what they are.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you're happy it's depth, but when it's time to use them, you're like,
Yeah, like if he's just coming in to fight for a backup role, I'm okay with that. I want us to get someone better to be the starter, or to be like when we drafted Frazier, Herbig's big brother, Nasty Nate's going to be he's the starting center. Yeah, you're a placeholder for the rookie till he gets his feet wet and ready to go. Hopefully that's what this Hoffman signing is. They have their eyes on a guard in round 1 or 2. That's going to be, hey, they're going to get their feet wet for a couple weeks in camp. Then we name them the starter.
More than likely. That just seems to be how that plays out all the time. Somber says, Seumalo is crazy. Laugh my ass off. Seumalo Malu. Or Seaman Malu. Still Oil says. Somber says, talk to Tex doing Cody dirty. Cody says, his name sucks, just like he did the whole time he was here. Mark Malone working in Sandusky. Ooh, there you go, Mike. Working in Sandusky. You can't deny you definitely did your share of work.
I did the dirty work in Sandusky.
You did do the dirty work. Cody says this. He says our biggest upgrade was getting rid of him. Vanilla roll is what Cody's saying. Steeler Freak John says the Don. We need the Don on this defensive line. Steel Loyal says Keanu Bet needs to move over to the 3 technique if we're still running the 3-4. And again, Mike, there's so many. The world of possibilities now are such that we could be excited again because again, it's not the same thing every week, week in, week out. At least it's a different coaching staff. Before this coaching staff could get stale, you'd like to think that we have some time for that to think, okay, well, maybe the defense will try something different. Maybe the offense will look totally different. So many new things on this team this year, Mike. It's hard to not be excited about. And again, we're just a fraction of the way there, still having the draft a month away, Mike. A lot still to go on. But so far, they've done a lot of work this offseason.
They've done a lot of work. Still work to go. And the little signings that they're doing, they know there's a lot of work to do. But I think right now they're deep into draft prep and still, checking trade wires and see who's still out there. But right now, I have a feeling this team is done signing free agents and is now prepping for the draft hardcore.
Absolutely. I think everything is right on schedule. Like I truly do. And again, I think that everything is running pretty well. And I think that Aaron Rodgers probably has a line of communications open with somebody that it does matter, Mike. And I'm pretty sure I would like to think that they're not just going willy-nilly and saying, well, if he makes it, if he doesn't, if he comes back. I have a hard time thinking that. Mike, certainly, it's not beer. It's not beer league. It's not Bush League. This is the NFL, and again, these guys are professionals. So at the end of the day, whether it be known to us, I have a feeling that the Steelers know, Mike. If I was a gambling man, I would say Aaron's going to be under center this year. I don't gamble, but I'm going to stick with it. Cody says, bring back the Italian Army banners.
Hell yeah.
I think I do have something here. Just give me a moment, Mike. A little bit on Aaron Rodgers. Good. Just give me a sec.
Yeah. Speaking of the Italian Army, let's stick with Dante Corleone. I think he's a must grab in the 3rd round. You might have to overdraft him, maybe a pick or two higher than you want in the 3rd round, but I'd be okay with that. That's sticking with the philosophy of this team of building both lines. And you still want to be able to stop the run. Even in today's NFL, we see how it is. These teams that can throw the ball, but if they know they can run the ball down your throat, that's something they're going to do over and over and over and over again. So That's why I'm banging the table for someone like Dante Corleone. I think you plug him in the middle out there on obvious run situations, he's going to eat up so much space and allow those linebackers to fly around and do what they need to do. Maybe eat up a guard and a center. So, our undersized linebackers don't have to shed, 330-pound guys coming at them. And it's giving me flashbacks to like Casey Hampton in the middle. That's really what I want right there. Because that's what they want to play 3-4. Get someone who can play it. And he's a guy. Get someone like him. Get someone like Dominic Orange too. Draft 2 D linemen in the third round and say, fuck it. This is what we're doing. Guys that can stop the run and a guy who can do the run and the pass. It would be a great draft, in my opinion, if you address both lines and get a wide receiver in the first 2 picks.
Absolutely. Mike, I just think I don't have the note that I thought that I had, but again, as far as Aaron goes, there's just a lot that he brings, because there's a few notes in this one article that I do have from this article, just basically saying that the players on the team, they want him because they know that he's a good player. At the end of the day, Mike, no matter what you bring in, if you would have brought in Kyler Murray or you would have brought in anybody that was brought up certainly over the past few months, I think still at the end of the day, just for what he knows, what he brings to the table, his IQ, his football IQ is certainly high as far as Aaron Rodgers goes. So, we're always talking about this bridge quarterback until we get our guy. You need that guy. If you ever plan on winning anything, you better get that guy. So at the end of the day, Mike, I think the team is happy with Aaron. I think that he could certainly keep them competitive. I think the coaching staff would be happy with Aaron, of course, because of Mike McCarthy. They've been there, done that together. And at the end of the day, yes, we need that guy, but it's not going to happen right now. It's not going to happen overnight. So I think most people, Mike, just because of his IQ, and even at 40, he's going to be 43 during next season. He can still keep, be a quarterback that's relevant in the league. It's he's not just an older quarterback that's sticking around for the time. This guy still was able to go out and put up 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, put up 10 wins in the season, and make the playoffs. So at the end of the day, he's probably your best bet for where we're at, what we're doing right now, Mike. So again, Aaron Rodgers, I don't want to go on and on because I'm sure this is what everybody's talking about. But at the end of the day, it makes too much sense. And especially now with all these other guys signed elsewhere, Malik Willis is elsewhere in Miami, and Kyler Murray's in Minnesota. A lot of things did pass us. It just really feels like we know something.
Yeah, it has to be. And, he's not even been any rumors of like any other team reaching out to him and talking to him. So it's like everyone knows he either wants to retire or come back to Pittsburgh. And, he's the guy to bridge us through to the next quarterback. And hopefully that quarterback's on our roster. Or we get the quarterback next year in the draft and we throw the rookie out there with a team that is completely fleshed out, that is quarterback proof.
And also, as Mark's mentioning on the board, Aaron was able to do that with a bad offense. I mean, come on, the offensive coordinator wasn't exactly what it was told us. What we were told it was going to be. He was given no left side of the line. I mean, think about it, Mike. Broderick Jones tackled Aaron Rodgers. So for one, what you want your left tackle to do and what you don't want him to do is exactly what happened last year. You wanted him to be great. He wasn't great. You don't want him to tackle your quarterback. He tackles a quarterback. Also, he has one wide receiver, Mike. So again, yes, Aaron Rodgers, pretty damn successful with the situation given to him. And again, this is where I think we are this year. And this is where I'm fine with being this year, Mike. But again, next year, things are going to change. Will Howard's going to somehow be in the mix. There's a big draft coming in 2027 with a shitload of quarterbacks. So, of course, it's all going to change. Let's take a look at what we have this year. Let's take a look at what we have this season and see what we could do. What we have. And again, I right now, Mike, I can't imagine. What's the move? Let's just talk a bit about if Aaron Rodgers calls later and says, Omar, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to come back. I'm done. I want to retire. What's the move? And people are going to go, well, it's either going to be Mason or but that's a big, you know what I mean? It's going to be a long ass year if that ends up being the reality, Mike.
Yeah, and if he says no, it's probably going to be Kirk Cousins. just by going on a really competitive standards, it would be Kirk Cousins. I don't think they're going to go with Will Howard or a Carson Beck, type situation. I think they know Mason's a number 2. I think they are set and sold on him being the number 2 quarterback.
Mason is number 2. All right, let's do Scoot up on the board a little bit, Mike. We got a bunch we're going to get into today. Just here in just one moment. I don't want to leave anybody out. Let me go right here to, excuse me. I'm going to go right here. Steel Loyal, give us all the cool last names. That's where Mark Malone is. Mark Malone would draft the coolest, a team, Mike, that has all the cool last names. If I know Mark Malone. Also, Cody says this, Mike, would you take a quarterback in the 3rd round with one of your picks?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I don't. Outside of Mendoza, me personally, I don't see any starting quarterbacks that are going to be the guy to make you a franchise type quarterback, a guy that's going to be pushing for a playoff win, Super Bowl win, MVPs. I don't see any one of those guys having that. So I'd rather use my 3rd round picks to address linebacker, wide receiver, O-line, just any position that we need. So when we do get the quarterback, the team is built and ready to go, and the quarterback can hit the ground running, kind of like how Ben did his rookie year when he had to come in for Tommy Maddox. That's the philosophy that this team's going for, is to make the team quarterback proof, and don't stray from that philosophy at all and reach for a guy.
Let's go to Squeege. Squeege says this, who is someone you would be interested in trading for? What do you think we could get out of Benton?
You could probably get a lower round pick for Benton. Like if you look at his, I know everyone hates it, but like PFF stats, he's like one of the top 50, or where's he at? 21st in pass rushing.
21st.
He was 21st, but out of a shit ton of guys, that's his best year right there. But he had like 7 sacks combined for regular season and postseason. That puts him in top 10 for interior D lineman. So in a system that runs a traditional 4-3, he has uses in there. That's why a lot of people in the Steelers want him to move out of the nose tackle position, because he's not a nose. He can rush the passer. You put him on those downs, he's more effective than being out there, all 3 downs trying to help you stop the run, because that's not his forte. His forte is getting after the quarterback.
It just makes me wonder why it went on for 4 years of them not making these moves. So again, this is why I'm excited about
new coaching staff, baby.
New coaching staff. We're going to see all those things and see if they improve. I'm very, very curious. I think a lot of people are. Still loyal, Mike. He agrees with you. He says don't want to get rid of Benton, just want him back at his natural position. Squeege says it would be nice to move back once or twice and try to push some draft capital to next year. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if there is some action, Mike, in the between our draft picks this season. Again, those first five in the 100, going to be very interesting, Mike. But after the first 5 in the top 100, you still have 7 picks beyond that. So I do think there's going to be picks moving.
I kind of want them to use all 5 of those picks, but at the same time, I don't want them to be afraid to use some of those picks to move up if they see a guy that they really, really love. And don't be afraid to go get them. It just come out with some quality players in that with those first 5 picks. Even if you come out with 4 quality players because you used one of them to trade up to get a guy, go ahead and fucking do it, man. I think that's be a great resource allocation, using it to get a guy that's not going to fall down to you.
John Steeler Freak says this. Good point, Mike. The Dawn would help with the D transition that is coming. Cody says I want to keep Benton. I just don't want to see him get pushed around in the middle all year. Steel Loyal says Benton ain't a nose tackle. We need someone 6'4" or under and 330 plus.
Dante Corleone, 6'1", 330, baby.
Squeech says, I like Benton. I'm just making conversation. I'm at work, so I only get certain points to go. Gotcha. Totally get it, man. John says this. No other team wanted Rodgers. That says a lot. Cody says this. Keanu Benton is in the nose opens up bigger gaps than Stifler's mom. Mom, I like that. Of course. American Pie reference. Finch was actually fond of Stifler's mom, if I'm not mistaken. Still Loyal says this. Other teams definitely wanted Rodgers. LOL. I don't know. I mean, he's still out there. That's the thing. You don't see anybody knocking his door down. It's the Steelers are waiting on him. It isn't. He's not getting. You don't hear about him getting calls from this team or that team. So I don't know. It's just Aaron Rodgers is an interesting story, and we're just somehow mixed into it all. Mark Malone with one wide receiver. Yes, absolutely. Squeege said this. Tomlin was obsessed with playing people out of position. Used to drive me nuts. I always wondered what the hell. It was often, Mike, and it wasn't for success. It didn't really turn into success. Like a lot of times you would see some of those Patriot teams when they were winning the Super Bowl, they would line players up out of position. They would do different things with the linemen. They would drop linemen in coverage, everything else, and it worked. All of our out of position shit, it didn't work.
Yeah, like playing Benton at nose his rookie year, it worked. It worked great, but teams figured out how to counter him, his speed game. Like, okay, he's not a bull rushing, space eating guy, so they counter that. But then the Steelers like, no, we're going to keep him there. We're just going to keep him there. Like, no, he can play out. He plays better on the outside in the 3-4 formation. It don't where he has to eat up in that middle of the field. It made no sense whatsoever. And that's why I'm excited to see what this new coaching staff is going to do.
John says, Ryan sounds like he is in a cancer seminar trying to rationalize another round of chemotherapy. Let's go to Steel Loyal. He says, exactly at Squeege. Cody says, I'm sorry, Mark Malone. Mark Malone says this. Anyone that could put up those numbers with one receiver in a Tallman restricted offense is okay. And that's what it ultimately comes down to. I think if he comes back this year, he'll be fine. Is it going to be great? No. Is it going to be like having Tom Brady? No. Is it going to be like having Patrick Mahomes? No. But you know what? It's going to be the best case scenario for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. I do believe that, Mike. And again, he's familiar with the team and the players and the culture and the locker room and everything now. And again, if you would have brought in a Kyler Murray, for an example, or even Kirk Cousins, Mike, they then have to come in and familiarize themselves with everybody in the culture and just the way things run and the team and the trainers. And so, there's certainly advantages to Aaron Rodgers coming back that you could cut down on a lot of the things that just take time when you could be focusing on football.
Yeah, and if Rodgers comes back, if and when he does come back, this is going to be the first year in how many years we've had quarterback continuity.
Yeah.
From starter from last year to this year, and that's huge. Like the O-line now, like the center knows, okay, how is he like the ball snapped? Okay, what's his cadence? All right, cool. So the O-line now has better familiarity with the way he likes to play. Your receivers know how he likes to play. Running backs know what he likes. New coaching staff, but a lot of these coaches have overlapped with Aaron Rodgers or overlapped with McCarthy, who coached Aaron Rodgers. So there should not be any type of discomfort of like, oh, we got to learn this, that. It's just a seamless continuation. They're going to learn a new offense, but my God, they already know each other as a player, as a person, of what to expect out of each other. So now everyone can hit the ground running on the same page. Whereas last year, it's like trying to figure out what he likes. What do you like? What do you like? Now everyone knows, and they can just go and do it.
I agree. It takes a whole step out. That you would have to take, Mike. And again, it's going to be the first time in 5-6 years that we were able to do that. So again, I don't understand how that could be a bad thing. And again, Mike, for what it isn't like we came into this offseason saying, okay, well, I expect to have a Patrick Holmes back under center. You knew that this was probably going to be the best case scenario this offseason. You watched some things play out. People talking about, why don't the Steelers bring in J.J. McCarthy? Why would they bring in J.J. McCarthy? He's done terribly. We need a starter. So again, at the end of the day, Mike, I think I don't know. And I'm not saying I'm reporting just as a talk show. I'm saying that I do believe that Aaron Rodgers will be under center next year for the Steelers. And again, I'm okay with that. I'm okay for one more year, as long as we're moving in the right direction, building the team around to be able to eventually get our quarterback, plug him in place, and maybe, again, as you said, have something similar that happened to Ben during his rookie year, when he was able to just plug in place, don't make mistakes, just control, be the field general, and then he gets better and started improving and showing you what he has and everything else. So at the end of the day, this is fine. I'm fine with this. And Mike, I think that 10-7, 9-8 should be the floor. because not much has changed. And if the coaching staff could come in and have an improvement, you'd think that we're going to be at least moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and the players that were here last year that were rookies that played well, you're going to project them to be even better. And the guys hitting year 2, year 3, year 4 should be getting better, and the team should be getting better. You add what you hope are better coaches across the board. That's going to make your team better. And Aaron coming back, you already know what he can and can't do at this stage in his career. You can build your offense around it. You're not going in totally blind.
And Mike McCarthy knows what Aaron can and can't do. That is such, it's been a minute since they played together, but you know what?
But he watches film. He knows what to look for.
Well, that, and you know what? These guys probably had conversations in the past, and there's probably things that he knows that's, what Aaron is uncomfortable with and things that Aaron is comfortable with. So at the end of the day, I have no problem with this right now. It is what it is. At the end of the day, Mike, we didn't expect there to be any major improvements this offseason. So as long as we can kind of keep continuing the team's improvement, Mike, I think that's the best we could do. We're going to move on the board, though. A lot still going on, a lot of messages. I don't want to get too far behind. We still have to get into some topics, Mike, that we have to get into. We have to get into some of these topics today. Let me just grab a couple more messages on the terrible board, and then we are going to get into those topics here real shortly. Steel Loyal says, I like our trajectory for the most part. I do too. I think that, again, it could be lower. I like our team better than I like Baltimore. And Baltimore's a team with an MVP quarterback and a King Henry in the backfield, and a team that was supposed to win the division last year, and a team that's constantly being favored to win the AFC North. I like our team head and shoulders better than that squad.
Oh, me too. I like them better than every team in the AFC North.
Mike, I mean, we're 10-2 against the Ravens in the last 12 games. I just don't understand. I mean, of course, I know there's always this hatred for the Steelers outside of Pittsburgh, but it's ridiculous, again, to continue to put the Ravens above us. 10 out of the last 12 games. That's 6 years. 12 games is 6 years.
Yeah, we've owned it. And, Lamar has missed time, but every game he has a losing.
It doesn't matter. Our guys missed time too. We were playing with. But listen, if we're going to say that, Lamar missed time, look at all of the quarterbacks that we played against them. I think it's pretty even.
Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky,
Kenny Pickett beat them.
Yeah. I think he beat them multiple times.
He beat them as a rookie. Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. I'm just not. I respect them. I
don't fear him. I don't fear him
I've never feared Baltimore.
Yeah, even when you knew Flacco was back there in his prime with Ray Lewis and all them, you knew it was going to be a tough game, but you didn't fear them. You respected them, and now you definitely don't fear this team now
because we're the Steelers. Why? You know what I mean? You can't fear anybody. You don't have the most Super Bowls in the league. Like New England, you think New England fears anybody? No, they know they're bad. They know that they're, they're the shit. They won 6 Super Bowls. You shouldn't fear anybody inferior to you. You just shouldn't. I think it's just a general good law in life. Let's move on the board though. But respect them and respect their skills, and don't underestimate anybody either.
Yeah, don't underestimate them. Yeah, exactly.
Joe Quinn says this. I see a lot of no one else wants Rodgers. I believe he doesn't want to go anywhere else. If he doesn't retire, I would take Rodgers and 3,627 TDs and 8 picks this season. And I think, John, I think that's the way it's going to go. And it's just, again, I think it might be better than it was last year. It might be better than it was last year, on top of some of the improvements made so far. But again, Mike, this coaching staff being able to come in and see what the team, where their shortcomings were last year, and make those changes and make those adjustments. When you come in with a new set of eyes and a new mindset about something, you could get in there pretty easily and fix things, opposed to somebody that's been in the system. Maybe you feel like you're walking in place. Why isn't this get better? We tried moving Benton. We tried doing this. It never got better. I don't know what to do. This is year after year after year. We want to get better. We're not improving. So you get that new set of guys. They come in. They can make those changes, Mike, because they don't have all those long-term connections to players on the team. They don't have all those kind of things. So I think there's no reason that this team shouldn't be good this year. And as I said, I really truly feel there's no reason we shouldn't be in the running for this division.
Yeah, and that's what the goal should be for this team. You internally. Okay, so externally, they're going to say, oh, yeah, every year we want to compete for a championship. Every team's going to say that. But internally, you know how good your roster is compared to the NFL. So the minimum goal for this team should be to win the division. And that should be it right there. Then you start assessing, okay, how much have we improved? Are we good enough to win a playoff game? Okay, that should be the goal now. Division plus playoff win. That's where this team is at right now. Division title, playoff win. That's the goal. This team is not a Super Bowl caliber team. Only one team wins it every year, and this team still has building blocks to go. And it's okay to honestly assess yourself going, hey, we're not there, but yet these are our goals, and we're going to compete to get to these goals whilst improving our roster to get to the ultimate goal. You have to, go step by step. And right now they're in that have to win the division and have to win playoff games. Otherwise, it's just more of the same, and we're, just hanging out. You have to. We've hit a wall. We've hit division titles, making it to the playoffs. Next step is to division titles and playoff wins. That should be the realistic expectation for this team. And Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback that can get you to that level. Is he going to get you a Super Bowl? No, but he's going to get you to where you were last year, and with a better roster and hopefully a better coaching staff, get you over that playoff drought. Then you hand the keys off to whoever you think your long-term quarterback's going to be.
All right, let's move on the board, Mike. Let's keep it moving for a little while here. We don't want to get too far behind. Cody says Johnny Smith played running back. Broderick played right tackle. Caleb Johnson kick return. Ramsey safety. Steel Loyal says, you ever heard of Will Howard?
Who?
Squeech says Tomlin was playing Madden Ultimate Team. LOL. Fuck. It's let's put him in there. Steeler Freak John, he says touchdowns, interceptions never paints the right quarterback picture. Rodgers at the bottom third or bottom of the most quarterback stats that matter. But you know what? One of the ones he was good at was one of the top 12. The top 12 teams make the playoffs, or 14 or whatever it is now. And we won the division. So you know what I mean? There's that as well. And I'm not disagreeing. I agree with you. I'm just saying there was things that he did well and put us in place to win a lot of football games, and we did manage to make the playoffs. Listen, if that was a Mason Rudolph ran team, say they would have decided to play Mason last year, that team isn't 10-7. That team isn't going to the playoffs. There was a lot of things that Aaron Rodgers did that allowed this team to win football games last year, and I don't think we could deny that. But again, I don't disagree with you either, John. I understand what you're saying. Mark Malone says, no, it won't be Cousins. It will be Beck or Howard.
6 of one, half dozen of the other at that point.
This one here I thought was interesting as well, Somber. I read this morning, and I have it at the bottom of my list here. Don Orlovsky, Mike, of course, with all of his great takes, he was the one that says we were going to start 0-6 last year.
Yeah.
He says, Mike, that Ty Simpson is greater than Mendoza. Ty Simpson is better than Mendoza, and this is what Somber's saying. He says, Orlovsky says Ty Simpson at quarterback 1, by the way. In case anyone needed the reason to not listen to his takes, Mike, Ty Simpson better than the national championship winning Mendoza.
And his reasoning for it actually makes sense, is that he saw more big time, more pro style throws last year from Ty Simpson than Mendoza. And that's a fair, honest assessment right there. I think Mendoza is still is a better player. But like Orlovsky was saying, in that he doesn't think there's a huge this huge chasm between him and Ty Simpson. He thinks Ty Simpson has some tools. Do I like every Orlovsky take? No. But do I think this is the worst of the bunch? No. I think it was an honest assessment of both of them. But I still have Mendoza over Ty Simpson. I thought he played lights out last year in college.
Well, everybody did. I mean, come on, everybody has Mendoza over Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
And again, you know what? Say what you want about big throws, big games. Mendoza found a way to beat Ohio State. Mendoza found a way to win big games in the games he needed to win in the playoffs, making big plays. And I seen it. I see Mendoza throwing the ball all over the place in the playoffs. So say what you want about Ty Simpson. I wouldn't. I still
wouldn't draft him, but
I'm just saying this to Mike, that Mendoza, everyone keeps saying, well, I don't know about Mendoza. I don't know about, if he's worth, if he's the best quarterback, but I still wouldn't go get him. I just don't know if Ty Simpson is in that category, Mike, because again, people definitely aren't burning buildings down to try to get to Ty Simpson at the end of the day.
No, I'm not a big Ty Simpson fan. I don't even think Mendoza is going to be like a true franchise quarterback. I think he might be a fringe top 15 quarterback, which is not bad.
Why do you say that? What is your because I hear people say, and I kind of believe that as well. But what's your thought process? Why do you think that Mendoza's not going to be the guy?
Just having that one really good year always scares me in college. This year was a great year. 3,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Previous year, 3,000 yards, 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. The year before that, playing 9 games, 1,700 yards, 14 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
Well, shouldn't people get better?
He got better.
Because if he didn't get better, then
it would be worse. But my big thing,
got better.
My thing is, that's such a huge jump. Now, did the talent around him get better, or did he get better?
Well, it's Indiana, so they don't have the best talent in the
country.
I don't
Kirk Cinetti brought in a lot of good talent up there,
but still good talent. Like they're not Ohio, they're not Ohio State, they're not Alabama, they're not any of these teams that draft good all the time. I mean, yes,
no, but yeah, they obviously the talent improved around him. But was he a product of just that, or was he finally able to show who he was because he had comparable talent to him and to the competition? So when you look at the stats and put all that in factor, then you have to go and look at the tape, and then from years past.
At the end of the day, I mean, he still has to step back in the pocket. He still has to stand in there. He still has to deliver the ball and put it on target. So what I seen last year, I thought he was certainly good enough.
Oh, I was impressed. I like him, but
the reason he's not going to be successful is because he plays for the Raiders.
Oh, I mean, obviously.
These are common sense things that people look over all the time. They're like, well, this is the truth. This is going to be why he's not going to be good because no, he's not going to be good because he's a Raider. When was the last time you've ever seen anybody get picked by the Raiders and ended up that's just the way it is. Yeah. It makes more sense. It's less logical, but it makes more sense when you look at it that way. Let's do Scoot on the board, Mike. I can only do a couple more, but we have to get into some more things. Right here, Cody says, I would take Ness or Allor in there with at least the 3rd round pick. Dude says if Rodgers doesn't come back, we have to sign another Rodgers, like quarterback, prepare for a tough year, which everyone was prepared to take with the young coaches if they were chosen. I do want to say welcome to Sean Brown. Sean Brown on the Terrible Board. Welcome to the show. He says it's easy, the coaching staff. Let's scoot up to Hand John. Hand John says 6'4" nose is way too tall. I couldn't agree more. That's should be your wide receivers. Come on, that's like, could you imagine seeing Darnell Washington at nose guard?
I'm licking my chops if I'm a center. I'm getting under him all day, every day.
Speaking of which, did anybody see that guy for Florida, the Gators? He was 7'9" in the game the other day. Mike,
yeah, the dude,
And the guy that was 6'8" that was standing next to him was like looking up, like, "Wow, dude, you were fucking tall."
He's like, "Damn, man, you a big boy." It was fucking wild because usually at 6'9", you're one of the taller guys on the court. You're like a fucking foot above him.
Steeler Freak says they have Howard. They didn't shit Can Mason. I'm not sure they are drafting another if Rodgers comes back. It'll just be a little excessive, I think, especially knowing what you know about next year's draft. If Rodgers is back, I can't imagine. I mean, I could be wrong, but you're going to have a lot of project quarterbacks just sitting around your quarterback room for the next who knows how long. So we will see. Steel Loyal says, I said 6'4" under. And John also, Steeler Freak says, I just saw old Stifler on Always Sunny. Let's go to Tortilla. Get a guy, go ahead and fuck Vanilla Thunder. John Steeler Freak says Tomlin's biggest flaw was lack of flexibility. Squeech says after Brady left, Pittsburgh adopted the system and effed it up. Mark Malone, the continuity of A-Rod to McCarthy will be huge. And that's one thing that I think a lot of people are hoping for and just assuming is going to happen, is they're going to be tight. And again, Mike, a quarterback head coach relationship is one of the better relationships in all of pro sports if you think about it.
Yeah, you have to be in sync. My God, if not, you see what happens. Like the whole team fucking shits the bed.
A couple more. I'm going to go squeeze right here. So one thing I'm curious about the Tomlin situation, don't we own his rights or something? Like if he wants to go somewhere eventually, don't they need to compensate us? I could be wrong. We do still have rights, Mike. I believe.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure of what the everything is to it, but yes. Short answer is yes.
Yeah, I think it's for like this year, next year, if you want to go anywhere.
Han Joe Quinn says they aren't bringing Rodgers back. They have him for 4,500. They will need. They will be a run team first, run team second. Take a shot down the field, occasionally stop the run. Foremost defensively. Cody said burned him. And John Quinn says this. Then say 6'2" or under. John says I think at this point Rodgers takes what he wants from any playbook. That is why I won't judge Mike McCarthy too harsh for Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Steel Loyal says this 6'4" is as tall as I would go for a nose tackle, still short enough to get levered. That's a pretty tall guy. 6'4" over top center. I mean, that's
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, you would think this would be successful because the guy's so big, possibly get into the face of the quarterback in his passing lanes. But at the end of the day, it's entirely too big. Very easy to block, especially if you're playing a good center who's well skilled and is a great blocker. So it's very, very, very tall for a defensive. I mean, not a defensive lineman. Cam's tall, but a nose.
For a nose, like 6'4", 309. That screams playing behind Cam Hayward or Harmon on the outside.
Steeler Freak John said the Ravens with Jackson as quarterbacks aren't even so Super Bowl contenders. They never have been. That team is Super Bowl relevant with him as quarterback. And you know what? That's sickening because when they start talking at the beginning of the year, they're going to say, well, these are the teams that have a chance. And Lamar over in Baltimore, so Baltimore has a chance. It's just getting old, Mike. I'm tired of the Lamar. I've never seen anything from Lamar in the NFL that I loved. Louisville, I loved him, but since he's been in the Raven uniform, I guess that could be a reason not to love him. But I just never was thrilled, Mike, even as he was winning his MVPs. Cody says, lucky for us, Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow can only play about 5-6 games before getting injured every year. Let me grab one more. That's what I miss, Pittsburgh being feared. I miss the days when it was like, sure, you might win, but did you? We used to demolish teams physically. That changed, though. God, I miss the smash mouth. I couldn't agree with you more, Squeege. Mike, let's get into some things. Former Pittsburgh Steeler quarterback about to be released from the New England Patriots. Mike, that's right, Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs is being released by the New England Patriots.
I forgot he was still bouncing around the league. Not a bad backup quarterback. Everywhere he goes, he's filled in for like a handful of games, and the fan base like, hell yeah, we got our guy. Let's start him. Then he plays that third game, and you realize, oh, this is why he's a backup and been bounced around the league. Smart guy, he's an astrophysicist.
Yes, very, very smart guy.
Or rocket scientist, or one of he's fucking brilliant.
Does it even matter once you start getting into those titles of jobs?
No, you're just fucking genius.
It could be anything.
Yeah, go move on with your life's work, buddy, where the guys at your job are not trying to kill you.
Mike, I want to take a look at this list of unsigned free agents of ours. Mike, this is something that we're going to have to take care of here.
Yeah.
Probably a handful of these names are going to be taken care of before the draft comes around as they try to figure out what's going on with money to see what we can do moving forward, Mike. These are the free agents that are unsigned as of right now. Of course, Aaron Rodgers, no surprise. A couple of safeties, Mike, right off the cut right here is Chuck Clark and Kyle Duggar. They could easily. I think Chuck Clark's gone, Mike, but I think Kyle Duggar could easily make the safety room if you're looking for a depth-filled safety room in your secondary. Daniel Ukulele, Mike, also him and Dean Lowry. They also are free agents.
No way.
Wide receiver Scotty Miller. Tight end Donald Parham. Offensive line Andrews Pete. Mike, also another safety, Jabril Peppers. See what I'm saying? They had many of safeties last year. Jabril Peppers, another safety in here.
See, this is why we need to draft a safety. We don't have enough from last year.
It just really feels like the tight end philosophies jumped to the other side of the ball. Max Sharping, Mike, is also unsigned.
Oh, he ain't coming back.
Skylar Thompson, who looked damn good in preseason last year, and then he gets beat up in Ireland. And then you really didn't hear from him much, Mike. He is still a free agency. Juan Valdez-Scantling, of course, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Mike, still needs to be signed. Jeremiah Moon, and then defensive lineman Jacob Slade are the unsigns, Mike. Who on this list is absolutely 100% coming back with the Steelers? I'm going to go through the names. You give me a yes and a no as we do. I'm going to start right at the top, Mike. Does this player come back this year? Do they need to come back, or are they done? Start with Aaron Rodgers right at top, Mike. This one should be quick and sweet. Aaron Rodgers All right. Chuck Clark. Let's talk about these safeties. Chuck Clark, Duggar, and Peppers. Chuck Clark, Duggar, and Peppers. Mike, do we need any of these three? Or are you certain any of these three are coming back? Or are you okay losing all three of these players?
I'm okay with losing all three. The only one I would let one back is Duggar. I think he has a role as a backup. I think he is good in small doses, not a starter anymore. I love him better than any of the guys we have, like Castro or that Jake Henderson or whatever the fuck his name was.
I do want to say what's up to Jamal, my man. Always great seeing Jamal on a terrible board.
Oh,
Gang, my G's.
good.
Always great seeing you, my friend. Let's move on here, Mike. We got Aaron Rodgers. We got the safeties. Let's talk about some defensive linemen. Let's talk about Daniel Ukulele and Dean Lowry, Mike.
They both can go. I thought Ukulele, wasn't he suspended for part of the season?
I believe so.
Yeah, so he can go. We don't need that nonsense around. Yeah, they can go.
Let's talk about there are two wide receivers on this list, Mike, as we do try to build this wide receiver room, adding to a DK Metcalf wide receiver with a Michael Pittman Jr. And obviously we're going to be looking at a decent wide receiver. I'm thinking in the top 2 rounds after we get that first lineman. It just depends on which way that goes.
Yep.
Mike, let's talk about the wide receivers that are still unsigned at this moment. Scotty Miller and Juan Valdez-Scantling are the two. Do either one of these guys make the roster when it's all said and done?
I think Scotty Miller is definitely gone. I just have a sinking feeling that MVS will be brought back on a vet minimum to appease Aaron Rodgers in training camp. And then he will be gone and maybe stashed on the practice squad.
Mike, what about Donald Parham? I forgot about Donald Parham.
So did I. Everyone but the training staff forgot about Parham as he was on IR last year. I think he's gone. That screams Artie Smith. Let's go get Donald Parham.
But on the other hand, Mike, we're saying that we might need tight ends for depth. You lose Connor, you lose Jonnu, you still have Muth, you still have Darnell. So at the end of the day, is there a chance that Donald Parham is a Steeler just in depth?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think. I think the coaching staff's going to want to go new for players of that caliber.
Let's talk some offensive line, Mike. Of course, offensive line is certainly a place that we could use some depth. The two offensive linemen that are available that still need signed by the Steelers or elsewhere are, of course, Andrus Peat and Max Sharping, Mike. Do either one of these guys, are they still around for depth?
The only one maybe might be Andrus Peat. He might stick around. I think he overlapped with the new offensive line coach down in New Orleans, so maybe bringing him back in as a camp body for familiarity and that mentor to the younger tackles on the team. I think that might be it, like another vet minimum. Let's see if you still have anything left in the tank.
All right, let's look down to about 3 players. Skylar Thompson. I think if he you're going to have your 3 guys. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers. It's going to be Mason Rudolph, and it's going to be Will Howard. Skylar, practice squad, anything of that nature?
Camp arm, probably. Yeah, I can see that, which is fine. You know, I don't see them drafting a rookie quarterback because they would take that role. So if they don't draft one, I can see a Skylar Thompson coming back.
I agree. And Mike, the last couple of players that we do have an outside linebacker and a defensive lineman, Mike Jeremiah Moon and Jacob Slade.
Moon, no, I think that experiment has failed. And who the fuck is the other guy? I'm being serious. I never heard of him.
Jacob Slade. Yeah, I don't know.
No, that sounds like Blade's brother. So no, we killing vampires.
So that's the Mike. That is what we have going on right now as far as the unsigned free agents of the Steelers. So we will see and continue. So nothing on that list is really grabbing your attention, saying come get, because you figured the Calvin Austins was something we worried about. The Kenneth Gainwells was something that we worried about. The Siamalus, obviously, these were the names that we were worried about, Mike. I don't think many names on here, with the exception of the quarterback, maybe a guy or two, just depending on your opinion. For the what's left of the Steelers unsigned free agents, I think are going to be a priority, Mike. Not much on this list. I think that the Steelers are going to fight to keep.
Yeah, I think so too. That's a very unexciting list, but maybe 1 or 2 guys as backups.
Let's talk, Mike, about the A couple things real quick. I'm going to talk about the division here and around the division. These are some key additions and key subtractions to the teams around the division, Mike, that aren't the Steelers, of course, the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Browns. Let's take a quick look-see. The key additions for the Ravens in this offseason has been Trey Hendrickson, Jalen Hawkins, the safety. I think they re-signed Snoop Huntley. Offensive guard John Simpson. Tight end Durham Smith, center Danny Pinter, and cornerback they re-signed Woozy, I think is how you pronounce it. Now the key losses for the Ravens, their starting center Mike Tyler Linderbaum lost. Tight end Isaiah not bloody likely gone. Running back Keaton Mitchell, punter Jordan Stout, fullback Patrick Ricard. And finally, Gilman, the safety. Mike, that was their key additions and their key losses. Anything that you've seen so far change this team one way or the other?
No, like they got worse at center, but they got better at guard.
Right.
They swapped out backup tight ends, so that's a wash. Safety may have been an upgrade. It seems like every move that they brought in was a wash. And Trey Hendrickson doesn't scare me. It felt like we got a hole here, so we'll plug this one. We got a hole here, we'll plug that one. What it feels like, it was just swapping parts of the Titanic and hoping it stays afloat.
Absolutely. Let's go to the Bengals. The Bengals, who received a B- for their offseason worth, Mike.
I can't wait to hear this.
There's not much to it. I got to admit, there's not much going on. But the grade given here is a B-, Mike. Their key additions: Edge, your boy Mafe. So they did pick him up. The safety Brian Cook, guard Dalton Risner, Mike. They re-signed him. Those were the key additions. The key losses was, of course, edge Trey Hendrickson. No surprise there. Edge Joseph, who's how you say that? Osai. They lose him, Mike. That's two edges. Then they also lose their safety Geno Stone from right here in Newcastle, and they also lose cornerback Cam Taylor Britt. So at the end of the day, that was enough to earn them a B-, apparently. Not a lot, Mike.
No.
And again, I think the big thing would be losing your Trey Hendrickson, but I think that's kind of blown up a little bigger than it really is as well, because I don't know. I'll be very surprised to see continuous, consecutive, consistent domination by Trey Hendrickson like you did 2 years ago. Again, last year with the injury, not getting all of his games in. So again, I'm not sure how much this hurt them, how much this helped them. But at the end of the day, the Bengals still look pretty much the same. Like, and if they don't work on that defense in the draft, it's going to be very similar for them, I think, next year.
I think so too. I do think they upgraded at safety. I was not a big fan of Geno Stone. Mafe, I like him. He came out of Minnesota. I forget where he was playing out in the pros, but he doesn't scare me. But he's a nice player, but he doesn't scare me. He doesn't replace what Trey Henderson gives you. So I don't know what the hell they're doing down there, and I don't know how that gets you a B-.
All right, Mike, let's move to the last team, the Cleveland Browns, who earned a B+. They earned a B+ in this offseason with their additions and losses. My Cleveland Browns, of course, then you have to consider as well the Ravens and the Browns, also new head coaches. As John Quinn is reminding me on the board here. So, there's a lot of different things happening with these teams. And like we were saying, like we at least have that familiarity with our head coach in Pittsburgh and possibly our quarterback if he returns. A lot of these players he's bringing, a lot of these assistant coaches. So maybe that's an advantage that we would have over a team that has new coaches like Baltimore or Cleveland. So again, got to keep that in mind. Let's look at what the Cleveland Browns did, Mike, this offseason. Key additions: offensive guard Zion Johnson, offensive tackle Titus Howard via trade, offensive line Elkin Jenkins. Mike, that's the first three players. We're looking at offensive line.
Yeah, I actually like that move of how they address their offensive line, because I think they lost their entire offensive line to free agency except for the one tackle.
Edge AJ Epinenza. Offensive line, Mike, another offensive lineman they re-signed to Tevin Jenkins. Linebacker Quincy Williams, wide receiver Tylan Wallace, Mike, and these are the players that they lost. Key losses for the Browns. Devin Bush, offensive guard Wyatt Teller, as you were mentioning, Joel Pitonio, also as you're mentioning, and finally edge Cameron Thomas. Mike, that was enough to earn the Browns a B+ this offseason. They needed obvious offensive help. Cincinnati needed obvious defensive help. Did either one of those teams do enough so far, or are they going to be depending more on the draft to address the problems they had? Again, you put both Ohio teams together with Cincy's offense and Cleveland's defense, you got a good football team.
Yeah, like the Browns, what they did on their offensive line, I really like what they did. I think that was actual smart move by them. But now they're going to fuck it up in the draft because you got to get some more skilled position players on this team, like Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, Isaiah Bond. That does not scream top 3 wide receivers in the league. They got to get some help there. Running back situation, they may be fine, but they really need help at quarterback. But I like what they did on the O-line a whole hell of a lot better than what the Bengals and the Ravens did. The Browns actually had a better free agency than those two organizations it feels like by a mile to me. It's because you address the offensive line, and then that was one of their big weaknesses.
Absolutely.
Or after free agency, because they lost all their starting O-linemen.
Mike, I'm going to get into next this list. This is the visits. We have 14 of 30 of our 30 visits completed, along with 2 local visits, Mike. Let's go through the list of these names real quick. In the local visits, of course, Kyle Lewis was in just the other day, linebacker, and tight end Khalil Dinkins from Penn State. Pitt and Penn State guys in for some local visits, Mike. These are some of the non-local visits. Carson Beck, of course, we've talked many times about him. Cole Payton, the other quarterback that is coming up recently last week, Mike, of the end of last week. Cole Payton, the North Dakota State quarterback. Wide receiver Jeff Caldwell from Cincinnati. Wide receiver from Kentucky, Kendrick Law. Wide receiver from Washington, Denzel Boston. Wide receiver from Alabama, Jeremy Bernard. Offensive tackle Markel Bell from Miami. Offensive guard Keelan Rutledge from Georgia Tech. Defensive line, James Thompson Jr. from Illinois. Linebacker, Jacob Rodriguez, Texas Tech. Linebacker, Harold Perkins Jr. from LSU. Cornerback, Ephesians Prysock of Washington. Chris Johnson from San Diego State, the cornerback. Tacario Davis, Mike, from Washington, the cornerback. Those are 14 of our 30 visits, Mike, plus the 2 locals. I do know that the 3 between Harold Perkins Jr. Hold on, let's see. He's supposed to be coming. Harold Perkins Jr. is supposed to be coming. Also, Mike, three people of interest that we do like at the linebacker position, and a position that we're going to be, very interested in looking at least. Mike, I know that Kyle Lewis, Jacob Rodriguez, and also Harold Perkins are 3 people that I know that the Steelers do like, and Harold Perkins coming in for that interview. So.
Yeah, I really like the Jacob Rodriguez. I think he'd just be a force in the middle of that defense, just eating up tackles left and right. I think he would be a nice pick. Might have to get him in the second round, though, the way his value has gone up that I've noticed post Combine.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more, Mike. That is the list of the visits we have going on. I wanted to talk about this offensive line a little bit before we do move forward. So as of right now, Mike, we're talking the right side of the line. We're starting from Frazier over Frazier, McCormick, Fatanu. We're happy with that. We're happy with that for the next 5 years, easy.
Yeah.
But then on the left-hand side, right now, certainly with the guard position kind of being shared by Spencer Henderson and Hoffman, that needs to be addressed. This should be addressed like very early in the draft. Again, in my opinion, it should be maybe the first pick. Just the way this all played out, what you're looking at, what you're looking for. I do like the left guard in the first pick, and I know that's very unpopular. People were ready for a sexy pick, Mike, certainly after drafting Broderick Jones and Fatanu, and then Frazier in the second or third, and then also, so you know what I'm saying? People I think are craving that sexy pick, but ultimately I think if they get that left guard and it's a hit, that's probably the best case scenario.
Oh, I think so too. And sometimes those non-sexy picks are the best picks.
I agree.
Yeah, like everyone, you wow for the wide receiver, the quarterback, the safety that's a edge read, Troy Polamalu type, that Rod Woodson, Deion Sanders type corner. Oh my God, these are sexy picks. No one gets really excited for like Aaron Donald, Warren Sapp, unless you really know football. Those are some of the best picks that you can make is your O-line and D-line. Because, my God, go back and watch Super Bowls, man. The teams that control the lines usually win. When you have equal quarterback play, if you can disrupt that O-line, you're screwed. So, give me some O-linemen. And I actually have up on the website today. After the show, guys, check it out. I have a mock draft that addresses the offensive line in our first two picks.
And also, Mike, while you're saying that, let me just move forward to right now left tackle. It's either between Dylan Cook or Broderick Jones. One guy very early, had success early. Another guy been around for quite some time now and doesn't quite know what shoe to put, what foot to put in what shoe. It seems to me still, Mike. So again, there's a lot to be desired left tackle. So I'm going to be curious to check out that mock draft again. You want to check that out today, see how Mike fixed the offensive line problems. With that being said, Mike, I am going to grab a couple messages and I'm going to move on. Hanjoy Quinn says this 7'9" with a 6-inch vertical. That guy from Florida, 7'9" with a 6-inch vertical. That would be me. That would be my luck. I'd end up getting all that height and I still wouldn't be able to dunk.
Don't need to just reach. You should be
right.
dunk.
That was 6-inch vertical. That's geez. This head coach runs the offense. This is what Mark Malone says. I kind of scooted up a little bit. I apologize, guys. I'm just due to time. Steel Oil says they're completely misunderstanding me. Shaking my head. Who's missing you, bro? Let's if I could find you here, we could. I'm not sure what that's referring to. I apologize. Somber says Dobbs greater than Rudolph. Sobs greater than Rudolph. Steel Oil says, I know you see this shit, Somber. Mark Malone, we don't even play the nose tackle over center anymore. LOL, the rare times that we play 3-4 is 3-4 over. It's a 5-man front. And Steel Oil says, exactly, Mark. RB says Dobbs is safer in the NFL. Getting hired in Boeing or Lockheed Martin is a very dangerous thing. Lots of those guys turn up mysteriously dead after some military project.
But don't work on the military projects then.
Sommer says we have strong safeties for days. Hand John Quinn says this Duggar's birthday was yesterday. All three safeties are at risk, is what John is saying. Follows it up by saying Dan Orlovsky can go play the skin flute.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go right here. Mark Malone says it'll be a bummer losing our white receivers. I don't know. If somebody could catch the damn ball and make plays, I don't care what color they are. It'll be fucking maroon. Just make some plays. Make some plays. We got to score points this year. Somber says we need blocking tight end depth. Parham is a twig. Steeler Freak says I think they could take a tight end in the draft. Steel Loyal says Parham is built like a small forward. Angelin said this: the Ravens lost better players than they gained. I agree. I definitely agree with that. What exactly did they do in this in the free agency, Mike? It seems like they didn't improve.
No, I don't know what they were doing.
Han John Quinn says this: Browns are the Browns with the defense who lost their coach. Bengals are stuck paying 3 players on offense. Defense is still defenseless. Mark Malone, and we get the extra week. Han John says this. He says Caldwell's intriguing. Rodriguez, yes, please. Just depends where they are available.
Mm-hmm.
Squeech says, I don't know if it sent, but if anyone enjoys Steeler content, I do Steelers H2H gameplay with movie scenes and memes thrown into it. It's a good laugh. Any support would be greatly appreciated. We'll have to check that out, Squeech. Let's go to right here where Squeech follows it up and says, I can't wait for the draft. I feel they'll go left guard first round. I do too. Mike, why didn't Ciamalo come back? Would you have been okay for another a year or two thrown on to that? Maybe extended. I understand he's getting older, but at the end of the day, the veteran leadership. Are you okay? I mean, would you have rather kept Seymour, or are you okay with the way things are going? And
If this is a big if we don't replace him with someone in the first 3 rounds of the draft, I would have loved to have kept him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think he's better than Anderson and Hoffman. But he was starting to get banged up a lot and was not the player he once was. But I still think he's better than the 2 guys we have on the roster right now.
Absolutely.
However, said though, if they go out and get a Vegaone or a Pregnon or a Rutledge, okay, that I understand why you let him go. Let's get the young guy in, plug him, and play him and go. But if they don't, I'm gonna be scratching my head. Because I think that he wanted more money longer term than the Steelers were probably going to be willing to give him. They probably told him, hey, if we bring you back, it's just going to be a one and done. He probably wanted some, financial stability going forward. So that's probably what it was. And I think he knew his time here was running its course with the injuries starting to get there and them going younger on the line.
And as Somber's saying, Isaac didn't feel appreciated. Let's see, who is the undrafted Tortilla the Spirits, misunderstand, still loyal, agree, squeege. Let's go to see what John's saying right here, Mike. He says this is a prep year. Next year they get their quarterback. Mike McCarthy has 3 years to produce fruit with the new kid, knowing rookies aren't expected to be Super Bowl ready. Let's scoot up here a little bit. Somber says fucking soft. Go get pancakes somewhere else. Jim John Quinn says this. Jack Strand from Minnesota State, Moorhead. Watch some tape if you get a chance. We will check that out. Thank you. And right there, my couple more things as we were kind of at that point of the show, not exactly there just yet, but a few things. Rico Dowdy, Rico Dowdy. Of course, we were talking about him the other day where he made the comment that he says, I'm going to get my 1,000 yards. He says, I don't, it's going to be done. It doesn't matter if I have to exchange, if I have to share my time with another player, because you got to remember also, Najee did get 1,000, so it's not out of the question to get the 1,000 while sharing that time with Jaylen Warren. Mike, this was also said by Rico Dowdle over the weekend. He said there's definitely takes pride in being violent. Mike, talking about his running disposition, the angry runs, something that we love here in Pittsburgh, something that I like that Najee did do with the angry runs, Mike. I want to see some of these Rico Dowdle angry runs.
Me too. Him and Jaylen Warren both can run angry, and I hope Rico gets that 1,000 yards here. I think splitting time with Jaylen Warren, he'll get it. It definitely too. If we address left guard in the draft, I have a feeling the middle of that line is just going to be open in holes all day long for those boys back there.
John says most of the free agents the Steelers pick up are retards. Isaac was one of them. And very last thing, Mike talked about Dowdle. Let's talk about the defensive side of the ball. This is what Jaquan Brisker says, Mike. He says regarding the reunion with him and Joey Porter Jr., this is what the city needs. Mike, you have these 2 players in our secondary from Pittsburgh. They both went local to Penn State, and they both, Mike, are now in the secondary for the Steelers. Jaquan Brisker and Joey Porter Jr. very excited to play alongside one another, Mike. He says this is what the city needs. And you know what? If this secondary comes out being successful, I think that he's going to hit it right on the head. People are going to love the fact that these guys are home playing football in front of their home crowd.
Oh, yeah. And these are 2 guys that grew up watching that violent era of Steeler football, the last, era before all the rule changes came in. They were watching Troy. They were watching Joey Porter. They were watching James Harrison just, destroy people. So they know what it's like to be a Steeler. They know the expectation better than anyone else. So to have those 2 guys here, I'm looking forward to it. And they're both really good young players too. And
absolutely.
If Porter can lock guys down and Brisker can, do what he does of just laying the lumber and can play center field a little and get those interceptions. My nipples. I just lactated everyone just thinking about it.
And you know what I'm even more excited about? Yes, I mean, that's exciting and everything, but I'm going to say I got to be excited about Jamel Dean.
Yeah.
Jamel Dean and Joey Porter Jr., of course, the safety corner connection is one thing, but to have, if Jamel Dean lives up to the hype and Joey Porter continues to do what he does, I mean, I'm sure that this team is not going to let up any touchdowns all season, which has been going very well for both of those players. But at the end of the day, Mike, if they could do anything relatively close to being dominant like that between the two of them, I think people are going to be very, very happy. And then you still have Asante Samuel in there. You still have other things going on, Mike, in the secondary. So again, right now, but this is where we were last year. We thought the secondary was going to be, worlds better in other secondaries and secondaries of the past. It wasn't that case, but the secondary seems to be put together pretty well. Mike, the middle five guys are the five that I'm concerned about. The nose tackle, 2 tackles, and the 2 inside linebackers. This is where I'm concerned about going into next year because of, again, our ability to not be consistent in stopping the run.
Yeah, and we were 15th in yards per game. That sounds nice, but you realize you're just one step above of being right dab in the middle of the pack. Right. They have to get better at it, and I think again we have to expend premium draft capital to address the D line. When Derek Harmon's in there, we're at averaging 89 yards a game. When he's not in there, it jumps up to like $150 a game. So get better, younger talent on there. That's why, again, I am beating the drum to draft 2 guys. I don't care if you draft 2 D linemen in the 3rd round and an offensive lineman in the 1st or 2nd round. That's the way to do it. And these are areas of concern that need filled. And I say it all the time on the show. If you can control both lines, you can win the vast majority of games. And why not go out and get a Dante Corleone? Why not go out and get a Dominic Orange from Iowa State? Someone that can play nose and someone that can replace Cam Hayward when he retires. That would be an ideal situation for me. And pick one of those guards in the rounds 1, round 2. You've already hit a home run of a draft. Then you sprinkle in some other things. Great draft. But yes, this draft, D tackles and a linebacker. As you beef up that D line, Graham can do whatever the fuck he wants to do with all the linebackers that he has. With all those athletes back there, the sky's the limit for what they can do. Now you have 2 lockdown corners. Then you have Jalen Ramsey roaming out there. Your pass game should be on point. And it's just get that D line so teams can't run for 250 yards down your throat.
Absolutely. I do want to say that John just had retreads. I thought it would be funny to say retards, but he ended up correcting me later. Just in case anybody missed it, I figured I would correct myself. Tortilla says Rico in Hawaii 5-0. Somber says I love opening holes for my boys. Top tier wingman shit. Ronald, what's up, dude? Always great to see Ronald Albright back. Ronald says this. What do you guys think of drafting Caleb Alarms or Mike?
Drafting, who was it? Caleb or Alar?
Caleb Alarms more or ORR. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's guy. Look him up real quick, Ron.
He's the linebacker from. Isn't he the linebacker from?
Just pull it up.
TCU, I think. Yeah, it took me a second.
Mike's gonna look that up. Let me scoot along here. Han John says this strand 4-year starter will with well over 13,000 passing. Yes, he's D2, but that is what unrestricted free agents are. Think Trinidad Chambliss, undrafted free agents. I'm sorry, Mike. Did you pull him up?
Yeah, I pulled him up. It's TCU linebacker. Yeah, I've been looking at him too a lot when I've been doing mocks and further research. I wouldn't mind him in the later rounds.
All right, there you go.
He looks to be good against the run and against the pass, so you don't have to take him off the field.
I do want to say though, welcome back to Ronald. Great to see you, man. We did get hand John also. Let's go to John. He says retreads, not retards, but it works the same. Let's go right here to Squeech. Squeech says left guard, wide receiver, left tackle, quarterback, defensive tackle, wide receiver, linebacker, right guard, tight end is what I want in the draft in that order for the most part. Also, Mark Malone. Mark Malone says Brisker and Asante Samuel Jr. were nice grabs. Also, Mike, you wanted Asante Samuel Jr. bad. I think.
I did too. Like, when he was coming back from injury, I was like, get him, throw him out there. He's better than what we have right now behind our two guys. I thought he was a good player when he was drafted in the second round by the Chargers. I've always been a fan of Asante Samuel Jr.
Let's go right here to Hand John says this. I don't think that we grab a quarterback in the first 5 rounds. I don't even, like I said, it just doesn't make sense to grab another project at this point. It just doesn't to me. We will see. Squeege says this. He says, after the draft, I'd bring in a cornerback out of free agency. Nothing crazy, but a player that fits. John says this. Steeler freak. The Steelers don't have much for draft picks in 27, so they may package some picks and trade for next year. Sommer says, I'll take LB earlier than LT. So you're going for that linebacker earlier than the tackle. Let's go to Squeege. It's just a rough take. I mainly would like to see offensive line and wide receiver taken care of early. I don't watch much college, though, so I'm ignorant to what the strengths in the draft are. He follows that by saying, what's the main position strengths in this year's draft? Mike, I think wide receiver strong.
I feel wide receivers really strong in this draft. Outside of that, I don't know. I just look at guys that I like and say, will they make the Steelers or not? So I don't really qualify to give a real good answer on that. Outside of, I feel receivers really strong because I've been looking at a lot of receivers.
Sommer says, I think they address left tackle next year. Neither Cook or Jones get it together. If neither one of those do, that's not the worst idea either. Maybe grab something just to have a little depth. But you know what? Maybe Cook works out. Maybe Broderick gets it together. But one way or another, you have two guys competing, and that's not always a bad thing. Mike, you get a couple of guys competing in camp. And that's even if Broderick Jones is even eligible to play. We don't know with his injury and his surgery what his case is going to be. But that's not the worst idea ever. Sommer also follows it up by saying TCU linebacker. Sommer says wide receiver, defensive line, edge, linebacker are probably the strengths. And then he says, I guess running back too, but not a need. So that's my guts. That's a look at today. What's going on? Just 1 month. 1 month from today is the NFL draft right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Mike, expecting 800,000 people downtown, at the point, over the bridge to the North Shore. 1 month from today. 1 month from today, and you got to figure that the playoff game that we lost was like over 2 months ago. So, Mike, it's going to be quick. It's going to be here before you know it. People are going to be coming into town. It's going to be insane. Kids are going to be able to stay home, do their schooling from home.
Yeah.
And the more I'm reading about it, I like it because there's just so much going on. All the resources and all the security and just everything going on in the world nowadays. You got to get extra security down there. So I think it's a good thing. Let the kids stay home, do their work from home. And
it makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. And to just a logistical things too of what's, like that many people. And I don't think people outside of Pittsburgh realize how small and compact Pittsburgh is.
I don't think they do either.
It is trying to get 60-some thousand people down there for a Steeler game is a nightmare. Trying to just get, 18,000 people down there for a Penguin game is a nightmare. Trying to get 5 people down there for a Pirate game is a nightmare. So now put 800,000 more people in this city. It's not gonna run smooth.
John says this Jones injury causes concern. Absolutely. It certainly makes it a different situation for sure. And Hand John says Steelers have original picks 1 through 4 swap 5th round with Dallas have no 6th and 2 7th round picks. Let me grab Mike here. 5 is generous. 5 is generous. Mike Hand John is saying also Squeege won't lie. It would be glorious if Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy took a Super Bowl from Pittsburgh and delivered one. Would be one of the coolest stories in NFL history. And you know what? I don't roll it out. Like last year, I was saying, wouldn't it be cool if Aaron Rodgers could walk off into the sunset as Jerome Bettis did, as Ray Lewis did, as a lot of players. So, who knows? At the end of the day, it's not out of the question, guys. And again, being with a familiar coach, it could be interesting. It could be interesting, guys. Squeege says this, but I don't have much faith in it. You know what? It's something to hang on. It really is. I want to say what's up to Shad. Shad on the board. Shad says Watt Ramsey Highsmith reconstructed contract and put towards a good player. I don't necessarily disagree with that. And Hand John said this would be akin to Mendoza. What is it?
Akin.
Go ahead, read it. Read the whole thing.
All right. Would be akin to Mendoza winning a natty.
There you go. Mike, could you also do me another favor? Could you go ahead and tell everybody about the website?
Sure thing. If you want to interrupt me, feel free to. Head on over to.
I won't interrupt you.
Okay. Head on over to the.
I'll let you do your talking.
To the
You got to tell everybody about the website. Because if you don't tell everybody about the website, then they won't know. How would they know to go check out your?
I know. How would they know not to?
All right.
The2dumyinzers.com. I got the link down there. Like I said, today I have a brand new mock draft that addresses aggressively the offensive line, wide receiver room, and the secondary. So check it out, man. I think it would be a home run of a draft, but that's just me personally. So check that out over there. We got some other stuff from Chubb and RB, our draft gurus, and we have all of our links to all of our social media. So check it out at the2dumyinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. Mike does have the link up on the board, www.d2dumyinzers.com. It's www.d2dumyinzers.com. Lots of cool things over there, as Mike said. Every Monday, he does have his mock draft, and RB and Chop do have a lot of articles and a lot of interesting things over there as well. Do go check it out at www.d2dumyinzers.com. I'm going to grab a couple more of these messages. Steeler Freak says this. He says, TV, there is less than 1% chance, so it is possible. It is a possibility.
You're telling me there's chance.
And also, Han John says, see, Rodgers could win a Super Bowl, but they would need the Patriots' luck getting to the Super Bowl. And again, you got to say that those teams weren't very impressive. Yes, New England's a good team. They're getting better. Denver's a good team. They're getting better. But, Mike, neither of those teams would I have feared that played in the AFC Championship game last year. Maybe this could kind of be one of those weird years for the Steelers. Who knows? Who knows what's going to go down, Mike? But it is time. It's time to get into the trivia question of the day here on the show, Mike. This is going to be a question about undrafted free agents. That came up a little bit during the show. Mike, undrafted free agents is what the question is going to be today. Get your thinking caps on, everybody. Else put your thinking caps on as well. We're going to get into this trivia question of the day. It is about undrafted free agents. Let's go right here. I'm going to grab John before we do. He says next week's special guests are Mike and Ryan's exes.
They all live in Texas.
And Squeech says this. I'm really surprised Pittsburgh never tried gadget plays unless I didn't notice more often to help create some splash and struggling over those years. You know what? When we were successful in the early in the 2000s, we used a lot of gadget plays. Remember Randall L and all that. But you're right. Over the last run, we certainly have it. Time to get into the trivia question of the day. You ready, Mike?
I am ready.
Here we go. Who's the only undrafted free agent to rush for more than 1,000 yards in Steeler history? Who was the only undrafted free agent to rush for more than 1,000 yards in Steeler history? Take a minute to think that over, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. every day right here on the Tube.
On Tube.
Question of the day, guys. I'm looking. If you think you know it, throw your answer up. If you have a guess, throw it up there as well. Question of the day. Who is the only undrafted free agent to rush for more than 1,000 yards in a Steeler uniform? Mike, what is your thought process? I think that you know.
I think I do know. There's only two that are popping into my head. Jalen Warren, and we know he has not reached 1,000. And then Fast Willie Parker.
Okay.
I'm going Fast Willie.
You're going to say Fast Willie Parker is the only undrafted free agent in Steeler history to rush for over 1,000 yards.
Correctamundo.
All right. Is this your final answer?
Final answer. Lock it in, B.
All right. I'm locking you in. Well, one more time. Who is the only undrafted free agent to rush for over 1,000 yards in Steelers in a Steeler uniform? Mike says Willie Parker. We'll give it a few minutes. Jamal says Rashard Mendenhall. You know what's funny about Rashard? He pops up on the board a lot, but everybody knows that people were messing with us or messing whenever somebody mentions that name. You know what I mean? It's usually a gag, like a goof.
It is too, yeah. I love how Mendenhall has become a huge part of the show by never being on the show. Love it.
Let's go right here to where Squeege. Let me scoot back down a little bit. Squeege has 05. Steelers found its breath with gadget. They sure did. Of course, in the Super Bowl, they had a really nice one. Tortilla Tater would run them off. No, yeah. That's all we need. Well, I guess if there are X's, I might have Tater come on to run them off. Hand John says Strand, Wet Jen, if he isn't drafted. Blyer, let's go to Willie Parker. Tortilla is saying Rocky Blyer. Aaron Jade says on the board. Hand John says Blyer as well. Mike Steelers Freak says this. The last gadget play was Boz at quarterback, and his ma said no more. Rashard Mendenhall, Jamal says, gang, also Tortilla, Mendenhall, the GOAT. What up, Tortilla? Willie Parker is what Squeege said, and Somber says Rashard Mendenhalls. Guys, we'll give it just another moment. Throw your guess up there if you think that you know it. Who is the only undrafted free agent to ever rush for 1,000 yards for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Mike thinks it's Willie Parker. He's locked in on Willie. I do want to say welcome to PGB VBY Steelers legend Fitzgerald Toussaint.
Ooh, Toussaint.
Not a bad guess. I do want to say welcome to the terrible board. Welcome to the show to PG. All right, guys, here it is. One more time. The question of the day is this. Hand John says it is Parker. Question of the day. Who is the only undrafted free agent to rush for 1,000 yards in a Steeler uniform? Mike, that, of course, is right. That is right. You got it correct. Great job. Willie Parker, Mike, the only undrafted free agent ever to rush for 1,000 yards in a Steeler uniform. You nailed it. I knew right away. I could tell by your eyes that you
I knew. I love Fast Willie, man.
Me too. Another big play in that particular Super Bowl, 75 yards to start the second half on a touchdown run by Willie in Super Bowl 40 back in 06. Yes, it's Willie. That's what Jamal says. I forgot about Parker. Aaron says, guys, that was, of course, the correct answer. Willie Parker, the only undrafted free agent to ever rush for 1,000 yards in the black and gold. Good job.
Thank you. I'm awesome.
What else we got going on, Mike? One month from right now. 1 month from right now, we're going to be in downtown, mixing it up on the bridge, at the point, on the North Shore. The draft 1 month from right now. It's unbelievable to me. Let's see. Jamal says this is the only question I've ever known the answer to. Somber says Omar Cooper Jr. is currently ranked 24th on PFF. Boston and KC are 31 and 35. And then Squeege says this. Did you guys ever see the 70? Did you guys get to see the 70 Steelers? I apologize. I'm way off. I don't know how old you guys are. I did not.
No.
I was born in the late part of it. I was still shitting myself, unfortunately, for the last two. I was born in 78, and their last Super Bowl win in the 70s was the 79 season, 80 date. So I didn't get to see him, unfortunately. Let's go to Diesel. What's up, Diesel? I want to say welcome back to the board. He says Mendenhall. Yes, absolutely. Mendenhall was drafted. Aaron J says Blyer was in the 16th round. Isn't that undrafted now? Just kidding. Jamal says we're so old. We're changing the name to two old geezers, bro. And Diesel says, but what's up, house? What's up, Diesel? Always great seeing you on a terrible board. Mike, a few things before we do get ready to wrap things up. I do want to say this. There's mad NCAA action. Of course, the first two rounds knocked out already. You have the Pirates opening up on Thursday at New York against the Mets. The Penguins, Mike, they're hanging in there. Second place in the Met, get the the playoffs starting in roughly a month or so. The Hounds are back at it. UFL's back on Friday. So much sports. And you know what goes good with sports, Mike? Having some drinks. Who knows better than you about having drinks, Mike? For all this fun and all these sports, do stop by and get yourself some Duquesne Pilsner. It's available in 6 and 12 packs at the Eagle, Mike. You could also get them in cases, wherever cases are sold. The people at Duquesne Pilsner are always doing us good, Mike, with promotions and everything, including us. So we want to do the favor back. So if you're looking for something to drink, go grab some Duquesne Pilsner. Maybe if you don't drink, just swing over their social media, show them some love, follow them. The people at Duquesne Pilsner, great people, Mike. Certainly friends of the show. And the beer made, we always have it right here in the studio, always on tap, made right here in Pittsburgh, Mike. And it says on the can, grab a Duke.
Grab a Duke.
Let me say, Hand John says this, watch some European League football. Also, I do want to say this as well, Mike. What else do I want to say? I want to say this.
You want to say how awesome I am?
No, that wasn't it.
Say that. You got to express that more often on the show.
I do want to say, speaking of social media, you can check us out as well. Check us out at Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, even TikTok. Keep up with what's going on with the two Dum Yinzers on a day-to-day basis. Go check us out. Hit the follow button. Also, if you haven't had a chance yet, do hit the like button down below, guys. Hit the like, the sub, the share, even a comment. It all helps out in the algorithm. We appreciate it all. Squeege, we appreciate you. Squeege says, like the stream before it ends, guys. We thank you for that as well. Hand John says, football is football. Mike, all in all, it's Monday. It's start a new week. A few things happened over the weekend. Nothing too significant as far as the Steelers go. We have 1 month till the draft. What's your thoughts for the day?
I can't wait for the draft to get here. Can't wait to put some names to faces for the people that are showing up. But I really cannot wait to see what we're going to do in this draft. Like I said, check over at the 2dumyinzers.com. Take a look at my mock draft. I think the first handful of picks are a great way to address some major needs on this team. We need O-line help. We need D-line help. I think that needs to be the focal point of the draft, and I think that's what we're going to do. Like this time last year, we were talking about like quarterbacks, corners, safeties, and as the process went on, it got closer and closer. It became more evident that the Steelers were going to go D-line, and I think that's how this draft is going to go this year. We're going to go O-line first round. So let's hopefully Yinzers can not act disappointed when we draft an offensive lineman with the first pick in the first ever draft in Pittsburgh, when we want the sexy wide receiver.
All right, guys. I want to say this. Thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much. I want to say, everybody on the board, thank you so much. You guys always keep things interesting here on the show. You are the lifeblood of the show. I always say it. I always mean it. Thank you so much to the amazing people on the terrible board. Also, everybody at home, maybe you're at the gym, maybe you're in the car or at work, watching or listening to the show. We want to say thank you too. Mike, let me grab a couple more of these messages. I'm going to go right here to Steeler Freak. Steeler Freak says, Blyer got drafted twice, Mike. Once by the Steelers, once by the Army.
Yes.
Squeech says, if you guys drink, I'll buy you guys around. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We'll be able to, we'll be there with Duquesne Pilsner as well. So there's going to be plenty of beer flowing there as well. It's going to be a blast. Can't wait to see people. It's going to be fun, like 1 month from today.
That's gonna be great.
Mike says, what is your drink of choice?
Let
me answer first, because I'm going to answer correctly. My drink of choice is Duquesne Pilsner, always. Mike, what's your drink of choice?
My drink of choice, I do love me some Duquesne Pilsner. That is, I love it. I think it's really good beer. But my drink of choice has been the same that has always been throughout my life, is rum and Coke. Rum and Coke. Give me a Captain and Coke. Captain and a Coke Zero, baby.
All right, there you go. I also see Diesel says, I seen they signed Homer Simpson. They did. This morning signed Homer Simpson. John says, will Rodgers announce before the draft? I sure hope so. I mean, because you figure that's still a month. That's a month from right now. I want to know. Listen, I think he's going to be back, but I want to know before the draft, Mike. Because didn't they?
Me too.
For one, they was like, well, it's not going to be stretched out like it was last year. It's going to be by mid-March. Well, guess what? It's already past mid-March, and we still don't know. So I hope it's before the draft.
Me too. It needs to be, even though the Steelers probably do know what the hell's going on. Just have it done.
I agree. Hand John says this: with the cost of things, a GoFundMe would be the only way I could.
Right, brother?
I hear you, dude. Can get a cheeseburger for less than $10 anyway. It's insane to me. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. Hand John says this: Rodgers will sign before the first week of April ends. Maybe he could do like one of them really funny April Fool's jokes and get everybody all wound up and say that he's not coming back, and then
I'd love it.
Kill him. And Don't Drink That says, my drink of choice is pineapple whiskey or Hypnotic. Henny is hard to beat too. So there you go, guys. We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again. Mike, again, not much going on today as far as our Pittsburgh sports. The Pirates do wrap up their spring training today. As of right now, Mike, they are playing the Braves. They're wrapping it up. But the season starts Thursday. It's a 3-game set for the Pirates at the Mets. And then they head off to Cincinnati before they come home. So not much going on by the way of Pittsburgh sports today per se, but we'll certainly keep on top of everything and be prepared tomorrow to talk about that and everything else, Mike, as we do return for our Tuesday installment of the show. Mike, overall, all in all, what's your thoughts, man?
Great show today, as always. You guys are the best. Like I said, the signing of Hoffman does not do anything for me. I view him more as a backup that can play all three spots on the interior O-line. Still got to go out and draft someone. Bringing Homer Simpson, that's a nice pickup to replace Miles Killebrew. So I love what we're doing on the offseason and how some of these media places can say the Browns, the Ravens, and the Bengals have had successful off seasons. It's a head scratcher for me. I scratched my head so much all my hair fell out.
I would give you the game ball. I thought that was one of the funnier things I heard today. But you know what? I'm going to give the game ball to everybody on the board. It's Monday. Why not? Everybody was awesome as always, Mike. Let me grab the last couple here, and then we're going to get ready to wrap things up for today. Handron says that was my point with the April Fools. Gotcha on that one, man. I am a little bit slow. I just wanted to let you know that is why I do carry the name up here, just in case anybody gets confused. I am a very dumb person. Let's go to also Diesel. I'm sorry. Let's go to Diesel. Diesel says, have a good day, boys. You too, man. Always great seeing you as well, Diesel. Hand John says, had a blast as usual. We thank you. And as well, sir, it's always great seeing you here. Jamal Gang. John Steeler Freak said, it is so bad Derpy has to sell Aunt Peach's personal items for his current KFC habit.
Oh, God.
And Stallbird, my man, as well. Thank you, guys. Vegas says, Vegas, what's up? I thought I seen Vegas pop up at one point, and I don't remember if I said what's up. Vegas, welcome to the show, brother. Always great seeing Vegas. He sold her vagina warts.
That is great. That's the comment of comment of the year so far. It's in the running.
He gets the bigger game ball. And Hand John says he better sign before April 1st. I couldn't agree more. I gotta know what's going on with our Steelers, Micah, with our quarterback. But guys, we will be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again. I can't wait, Mike. I think RB and Chop will be by tomorrow. I got to talk to the guys today just to confirm on that. But be nice. Hopefully, get to see the guys, our draft team, Mike. I can't wait to hear what they have to say. Vegas says the big piece of chicken. I believe that's it. Am I forgetting anything, Michael?
No, that's it. I think we could end the show on vagina warts.
Vagina warts is the end of the show. All right, guys. Again, thank you so much. We'll see everybody tomorrow for episode 933. Mike, tomorrow will be less than a month away from the NFL draft, as it'll be the 24th. The draft starts on the 23rd of April. So, guys, it's coming. It's coming fast. We can't wait. I know you can't wait. It's going to be a blast, guys. Have a great day as well. To Vegas, my man, always great seeing you. Mike, speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, I want to thank you so much, guys. Everybody have a great day. Stay safe. Be good. We'll see you tomorrow. Hope to see everybody then. As for Finch, for Derpy, for RB, for Chop, Mike, myself, the two Dum Yinzers, everybody have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.